All right. Welcome everybody to Unbeaten Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King, Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Now you guys know the drill. If you... Actually, I'm going old school. The drill is, we're gonna get the business out of the way before we get down to the fun. We got a lot to talk about, so stay tuned. But before that, I gotta tell you to please visit us over at the BDA Discord. The links are all gonna be in the description. And also visit our Instagram page. That's right, Instagram page. We're gonna be posting a couple of clips there, since they're more flexible with the amount of clips and the content you can put in regards to actual fights. So we're gonna be migrating a couple of clips over there, see how that works out. So check those two things out: the Discord, BDA Discord, and the BDA Instagram page. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. We got quite a show. The second Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, or actually it should be Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua episode, because there is a lot to talk about. So before we continue, I gotta give a shout out to the Shepherd's Sons, Subash Kunwar, Eric Rosas, Jose Palaco, Mr. E, Triple JJ, Bay Area, California, Box, Azzy, Triple JJ, Fight Scout, Tommy Temper, Toniato James, Mean Machine, shout out to Mean Machine, Tommy H, Saint Brit, Ryan, Roddy Davis, shout out to Roddy Davis, or Rod Rook Davis, Endgame, and more to come, I am sure. So guys, thank you for joining us. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about, like I said, Anthony Joshua and Ruiz, the ongoing saga. There's a lot of facets to this story, a lot of comedy, a lot of drama, maybe a little bit of excitement in between as well. Bucho, are you there?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right, fantastic. Now, where do we start, Bucho? You tell me. Do we talk about Eddie Hearn and his statements? Do we talk about Andy Ruiz's statements? Where do you want to go?
Well, there's this new excuse where apparently Joshua got dropped. He got a concussion in training during training camp, and apparently Joshua's father wanted to postpone the fight, or didn't want to go ahead with the Ruiz fight, and then Eddie Hearn kept pushing for the fight to happen.
Well, let me tell you. First of all, for those of you who have been living under a rock, the big news is, of course, that Andy Ruiz was able to beat Anthony Joshua. So there's that upset. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so Bucho, is there any indication or any information as to where or how that rumor came about? Who started that rumor? Do you know?
I have no idea, man. I don't even know if it's true.
Well, apparently Eddie Hearn came out. I'm looking here at Boxing Scene for the actual article, but he's denying that. I'm trying to find out exactly where, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. Boxing Scene, Hearn. I'm going to put the article up. First of all, let's see if it's working. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So you see there from via Boxing Scene, Hearn says absolutely no truth to that Joshua was badly hurt in sparring. So there you have it. I want to see what he actually says. He says, okay, absolutely. There's no truth that he was badly hurt in sparring. There were no health concerns going into the fight, Hearn told the Telegraph. The biggest concern was a style on his a sty on his eye. He's putting on a brave face after the defeat, but he's already starting to think about getting revenge. The rematch is huge. Okay, so Bucho, if it is true that he was hurt going into the fight, would Eddie Hearn lie and say so that he doesn't look bad? Or do you think they would actually go ahead and use as an excuse?
Well, he doesn't want to look bad, but I think it would be a good way to sell the second fight. Or reassure Anthony Joshua fans that, this is the reason why Joshua wasn't the same inside the ring. I mean, I don't really know. But I mean, you can easily sell the rematch. I don't think you need all this like the excuses. Just sell the rematch. Listen, Lennox Lewis lost. to Oliver McCall, came back. You've had so many champions that lose and then come back in the rematch and win. So just sell it that way. You don't need to create excuses. It just sounds stupid, man.
Because I tell you what, though, if I wanted to market a rematch, I would certainly go with that excuse. So the fact that he's saying no makes you wonder where the. I mean, like you said, I don't know what the truth is, where the truth lies.
Well, listen, let's see what Anthony Joshua says.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he has made some statements after did make some statements after the fight. I didn't see the videos because I'm not really interested a lot in what they say after the fight, but there could be some indications there. The other thing is in regards to the rematch, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that after I introduce Stu. But you got a Mexican now, and that's the point that you wanted to make. And also, real quick, in regards to that, because I don't want to go too much into it right now, but I was looking at a lot of message boards right now before coming on the show. There's a lot of word of mouth about this upset. A lot of people are talking about it, some coverage on ESPN. A lot of people on the internet were saying that when they get back to work, to the office on Monday, casuals were talking about this fight. So you might be right that rematch, there's a potential, lots of dough to be made in that potential rematch. All right, let's introduce Stu before we continue.
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All right, Stu, are you there?
What's happening, boys?
Hello, Stu. Good to have you on board.
Good to be here.
All right, so we're talking about the rematch, the potential rematch. Apparently, Eddie Hearn has said that they were going to trigger the rematch clause. Stu, let me ask you, is this a good idea to jump right in there, jump into the fire, or is it a potential disaster waiting to happen again? What are your thoughts?
It's the only move he can make. It's the only move he can make to get them belts back. Because if them belts start getting, because, you know, all it takes is for Ruiz not to take a mandatory. He's going to lose one of them belts. It could end up with Wilder. It could end up with Fury. And the chances of getting them off them guys are very slim. The only chance he's going to get these belts back is by rematching Andy Ruiz. And if he doesn't beat Ruiz in the rematch, then he doesn't deserve to be the undisputed champion because he's just not good enough at the end of the day. Because Andy Ruiz, very good performance from Andy Ruiz. I mean, really impressed with him. I really was. And he's going to be a problem for anyone. But we have to just calm the hype down a little bit here. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My money's on Wilder to beat him and Fury because I just think they can understand distance a bit better than Joshua. They fight off the jab better, sort of thing. And I just think stars make fights. I think Fury would be all wrong for Andy Ruiz. So,
well, there you go.
It's the only thing he can do is take that rematch. If he loses, then his career is basically. I wouldn't say it's over, but it's going to be a long road back, like I said in my video. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check out Stu's video that he did. Stu has a residency here at BDA Boxing where he can put up his videos because his legendary channel no longer exists, so he might as well post him here where everybody already knows who he is. So, but Stu, let me ask you this though. We were talking before you got on board about how there was a rumor that sprang out about Joshua being concussed prior to the fight and that they were deliberating whether to let him fight or not. And now they're saying, Eddie Hearn just came out and said that that's not true. We're uncertain as to whether he's lying or not. What makes more sense to you? That he would use this as an excuse or that he doesn't want to say that Joshua was indeed injured because then it's going to make him look like a slave owner?
The way I look at it, if it is true, then tough shit. Anyone that's sparring, fight week deserves to be concussed because they're fucking stupid. And Rob McCracken seriously needs to have a look at himself, this guy. Because this guy's took Joshua backwards. He's tried to make Joshua a fighter that he can never be, trying to change his style. He should have, when he was with Tibbs, he just did the basics. It was fundamental stuff, but he used his power and his strength. But he was knocking people out. All right, the opponents weren't as good, but it was just basic stuff, using the fundamentals, using his size and his power, his strength. But now McCracken's got hold of him. He's tried to change him into a boxer, and I just don't think Anthony Josh could ever be a boxer. But yeah, and so my point is with this Joshua team thing. I just think it's fallen to pieces at the seams with this team. He's gone backwards, and if he's sparring fight week against heavyweights, big punchers, then what do you expect? I mean, there's millions on the line, and this guy is sparring fight week. I'd say I don't agree. You've got all the weeks beforehand to spar. You can spar for weeks before that. You can shadow box and fight week or something like that, or do the pads and the mitts, but you don't go sparring, trading fight week. So if he did get concussed, tough shit. But you can't use that as an excuse. Andrew Ruiz went in there, did the business, did it in fashion, and he deserves to be the heavyweight champion of the world. No excuses here.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's saying that he was sparring the week of the fight. Well, was that the allegation, or?
Well, possibly. I mean, how long was he concussed for then? A month? I mean, at the end of the day, if he's concussed, he must have been sparring fight week, right? Because let's be real, you recover concussion, you can recover in let's say about 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be sparring fight week. He has to be.
I don't know. They never said, but regardless of
where's he get his concussion from then, bro? Did he fucking fall over in the shower or something?
Like Zab Judah? No, he could have been concussed in the middle of training camp, and maybe it was a bad enough concussion that they were actually deliberating whether or not to go on.
So you're telling me? So he's basically carrying a concussion for 6.5 weeks.
Well, that's why sometimes guys, when they get concussed during training or whatever, they get told, listen, you can't spar for 2 more weeks or something. So maybe that's what happened with him. I don't know. But all right, don't forget, by the way, everybody, to our viewers, don't forget to like, subscribe. We got a great show ahead of you, and we're going to be taking phone calls as well. We're going to be opening up the phone line. So I want the Wilder fans to call in, the Joshua fans to call in. Tell us your thoughts on this, because there's both sides are talking a lot. We want to see what you guys have to say, and we want to hear your craziest conspiracy theories regarding this. And this is going to be a good show. All right, so back to the concussion. Listen. It's a rumor. I don't think we should spend too much time on the rumor.
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It doesn't matter. You don't take the credit away from Andy Ruiz. It's Joshua's fault and his team's fault. So at the end of the day, that's the arrogance of Anthony Joshua. And I'm a big Joshua fan, and I'm hurting through this defeat. Trust me, this defeat's hurt me quite bad. And you don't usually get like that, because I think this guy Anthony Joshua is a good guy, and I think he's trying to be the best, and he's trying to fight the best. And I'm always going to back people like that. I don't like to see the demise of anyone. Just like the Charlos, I think the Charlos are pieces of shit, but I don't want to see their demise. I'm not that sort of person. So to see the shit Joshua's getting, it's been pretty sad to see. So I want to see this guy do well, but at least he's got a long road back, man, and things need to change in the camp.
Well, that's interesting. You mentioned that. Bucho was telling me that same thing, where we were talking briefly about what Joshua has to do to ensure he wins the rematch. And Precise made a good point in the last show about how it was really disturbing and embarrassing watching a guy of Joshua's size and reach advantage being afraid to let his jab go because he was getting countered with overhand rights. I mean, that shouldn't have been happening.
Too stiff, too slow. I don't know if he just didn't look right before the fight. I mean, I didn't even take no notice. It's only when I've read comments and seen videos and people have mentioned it where I took notice, and I thought, yeah, he just didn't look right. He weren't hitting the mitts properly, and he just looked stiff. He looked nervous, tense. Like I said, we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I'm not making excuses for this guy. But he didn't look himself. Let's just say that.
That is pride. That is pride.
I gotta give Ruiz all the credit in the world. I think Joshua ran into the left hook. He thought he had fat Andy Ruiz hurt. He tried to take the little piggy out, and instead the little piggy had a bite to him and ended up fucking him.
Yeah, it's probably the worst thing that happened to Joshua. When he dropped Ruiz, like I said in the video, he went for the kill. It was a bit like a Wilder moment where he just starts swinging and loses his shape and sticks his chin in the air. And that's what Joshua did. He got overconfident. And let's be real, Ruiz, I mean, that was a monster shot he took. Yes, he got dropped, but never looked really hurt. Got up, composed himself. Joshua should have stayed behind the jab, kept his distance, and took his time. That's a moment where Vladimir Klitschko would have done that. He wouldn't have just steamed in there and left his chin in the air. He took his time and took Ruiz apart. But where Joshua he flew in, and someone like, you cannot sit in the pocket and trade with someone that's got faster hands than you, that's smaller than you, that can come under your shots, because it's a recipe for disaster. And Joshua did everything wrong. So simple as that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We were talking about that during the fight about Joshua and his inability to really adapt. Now we're talking about panic attacks. So apparently he wasn't himself. He was having a panic attack. He was concussed. All of a sudden, Anthony Joshua turned into a full-fledged millennial. But like I was saying during the last episode, and I forgot to mention it during that episode. Actually, no, there was something that I forgot to mention, which was that we shouldn't have been surprised, really, that Joshua was hurt. In fact, I told Bucho this in a private conversation. I said, listen, were you surprised when he got wobbled by that first left hook? And Bucho, what was your answer?
I wasn't. No,
Exactly. Neither was I.
Dylan White. Anyways, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, he looked too stiff, in my opinion, and Dylan White also caught him during their fight. So it wasn't out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, there were shades of David Price in there, where nervous energy had basically took half his tank before he'd even stepped over the ropes. It just had that feeling about where I think he took too much on. The pressure got to him. Big in America, Eddie Hearn hypes his fights, puts too much pressure on him, and I think for once the pressure got to Josh and it cracked, and he looked beat mentally as well. But like, you know.
And by the way,
I said it.
Can you imagine if Dillian White had landed? I mean, that left hook that Ruiz, like it was a glancing blow. Ruiz has never showed us at any time where he's going to KO someone and start him on the canvas with one shot. It was just a half decent grazing shot. And look what Joshua was doing. I mean, he was all over the shot and he never got his legs back. But can you imagine if Dillian White had landed one of them left hooks that he throws on Joshua? He'd still be asleep now.
Well, listen,
this is the alarming thing with Joshua. It doesn't matter what he changes up. If you're getting clipped and you're reacting like that, then it's going to be a long road back for you, especially when there's people like Wilder around.
And listen, I don't want to toot my own horn, but we do have to self-promote here. Check out the film analysis that we did prior to the week of the fight. It was a little mini film analysis about what what Ruiz could do to take advantage of Joshua's flaws, and we did mention the left hook. And there's a little clip in there that a lot of people don't talk about, which is when Parker stunned Joshua. Now, even in the video, I posit that he might not have been stunned. Maybe he was just off balance or whatever. But what happened was Joshua threw a right hand, Parker rolled with it and hit him with a nice thought counter right. And Joshua's legs sort of like did a little dance. He did the baby deer dance a little bit. And now in hindsight, like Bucho said, we saw White hurt him. We saw Klitschko hurt him. Now we see Baby Ruiz hurt him. The guy's got a bad chin. He drops his hands, too stiff. And some people are gonna say, "Well, guys, why didn't you mention it before the fight?" Well, because we were giving him the benefit of the doubt. We didn't know how good. Ruiz struggled against Parker. That was a 50-50 fight right there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and we also didn't know that AJ was gonna fight scared. I mean, come on, man. There was something wrong with Dodge. I'm not trying to make excuses, but he fought scared, man. He wasn't throwing a good, straight, powerful jab. He was throwing that lazy-ass jab. Every time he threw that lazy jab, fucking Ruiz would come back like a fucking maniac trying to counter him. And then AJ would back up, like looking scared. It's like, and then also he looked like he didn't have any ideas of how to defeat Andre Ruiz. I don't know, man. It looked weird, in my opinion.
Yeah, just looked lost in there, didn't he? Just looked lost. And like I said, well, when he got hurt, all the snap, it wasn't just his legs that went, the snap of his punches went. So he knew he was flagging. He knew the tank was emptying. So he tried to load up on Ruiz, but it just weren't the same snap. So Ruiz was swallowing them punches, but yet returning with big shots himself. And you just looked on the cards, you just thought, there's no way back for Joshua. Just no way. I couldn't, and it wasn't surprising. I'm disappointed how he went out. I'd have rather seen him starched out in the third with that just one shot than see him getting up and falling over again and getting up and falling over again. It was just horrible to watch, and it's sad to watch. But like I said, we'll have to see. I mean, he's got a rematch. He can put this right, And he has to, because if that happens again, then we are going to be talking about Anthony Joshua like we do about David Price, and we don't want to be doing that.
My goodness gracious! You seriously?
Hey, by the way, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith from ESPN not giving any credit to Andy Ruiz, basically calling Andy Ruiz a butterbean, and then he goes on to say, "Oh, Wilder, that's why you should have fought AJ before Ruiz, because you would have taken Anthony Joshua out." And I don't know. I don't like Stephen A. Smith. What do you think about those comments?
I actually like Stephen A. Smith when he's not talking about boxing. He's fucking absolutely clueless when he's talking about boxing. He's all right when he's talking about basketball and NFL and everything else. But when it comes to boxing, he should stay in his lane. Clueless.
I agree.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Listen, Stephen A. Smith. I was waiting to bring that up. There's a video out there of ESPN. I was readjusting my seat. I wasn't okay. There's a video out there of ESPN. Andre Ward and Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, because Max Kellerman and fucking Stephen A. Smith have a show. And what a dream for Max Kellerman to be doing a show with Andre Ward. Anyway, they were doing that show, and Andre Ward, you guys know I don't like Andre Ward. I don't like his character, but he did call Stephen A. Smith out, and he told him, listen, you got to stop saying that Andy Ruiz is butterbean. And the guy goes like, well, yeah, but not for nothing. I know we shouldn't focus too much on what people say, but if you look at the comment section of this video, most of the comments, I would say 90% of the comments, are all goofing on Stephen A. Smith. I mean, the guy I don't like him. I don't watch any other of his other coverage, so maybe it's too. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's all right when he's covering things that aren't boxing, but it's just, whenever I see him talking about boxing, it's just, I want to touch the mute button.
I think I'd rather listen to Brendan Sharp talk about
Ouch.
Horrible.
That's good.
than Stephen A. Smith. But yeah, it's very disrespectful. But this is the thing. This is the thing with boxing. Never look at the shape of somebody and write him off. This is where women go wrong. They see Anthony Joshua, they see a shiny six-pack and all these muscles, and they think he's a superhuman. But what they don't take into account is that he's got a chin, and chins are not built to be punched. Whoever designed the human being did not design us to take a punch on the chin. They don't take that into account. And when you've got this little fat chubby guy that looks like he's been eating tacos all night and landing one on you, he's like 79. What was he, about 18 stone? I mean, you get 18 stone landing on the chin, mate. Don't matter who you are, you're going to sleep. And that's people. They see a shape of a body and they think, like Jeff Lacey, I remember people say, no way can Kawasaki beat him. Look at the size. Don't work like that. Muscles don't win your fights. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's what you said about, it's true. Women look at me, all muscle, no fat, and they think, oh, this guy's he's gonna be a nice guy. They don't expect me to put them in a cage, tie them up and shit like that. So yeah, ladies don't focus on the muscles.
Yeah, I was told you look a bit like Antonio Banderas. That's what I was told.
Hey, by the way, let me play this little clip here of Andre Ward's comments regarding, and that just goes to prove your points too, because Ward reiterated what you said. Hold on.
Because someone else got to him. Number 2.
Oh, by the way, okay. Max Kellerman is asking, and Max Kellerman, he loves fucking Andre Ward, and he's telling Andre Ward, listen, Andre, you wanted to move up to heavyweight. Are you feeling bad that Ruiz got to Joshua first? As if Andre Ward was ever gonna fight Joshua. I mean, and look at hold on a second. How can I try, because I'm using Chrome. Okay, look at Andre Ward's face. I can't play but look at his face. He's loving Kellerman's is lathering up all this attention on him, painting him to be the god that he thinks he is. And look at, first of all, why is Max Kellerman wearing sunglasses indoors? I mean, we all know he's got syphilis on his lip or whatever, but does he have it on his eyes too? What the fuck is going on? Anyway, let's play the clip. Hold on a second.
Now that Ruiz has belts, now that Usyk, who's a cruiserweight moving up, may fight Ruiz, are you thinking about coming back for the heavyweight championship of the world?
Don't do that, Max. Don't do that, Max.
Don't do that, Max. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's usually what he tells him when Max Kellerman is trying to pull Ward's cock out of his ass when there's no Vaseline. It's like, no, Max, keep it in there. Keep it in there. You've been a bad boy. Anyway, he
Well,
says that.
let's be real. Callum does rent a room off Ward, so he's going to be very close to him, isn't he?
And by the way, he said Ward's statement was that he would have done to Joshua what Ruiz did, but in his own way. Who's this guy kidding? He actually thinks he would have been able to beat Anthony Joshua? Or am I crazy, guys?
I think he meant by punching him in the bollocks till he dropped.
I mean, hold on a second. Dance fever.
What about that Croatian guy? Is it Hergovic? How do you think he would have done against Joshua last night?
I don't know who he is.
I saw him. Yeah, nah, that guy isn't that good, man. Seriously, I don't know. I saw him too stiff and upright.
I don't know a lot about him. I've seen him a couple of times.
I saw him.
I was hoping you guys could tell me a bit more, but I've heard some of the guys in the chat talk about him like he's half decent. So how would he have done last night? I mean, this is the thing on that performance. I think Dillian White would have beat him. I think Wilder would have starched him. Fury would have done what Ruiz did. I think. I don't know if Fury doesn't hit hard enough, but Joshua, he didn't have any legs.
But listen, fighters can have a bad night. You know what I mean? So I don't like us making a definitive assessment of who AJ is based on that single fight. Let's have the rematch. If the same things happens, okay, then he sucks. If things turn out to be differently, then okay, then listen, we have to calm down, man. These things happen, all right? And I'm not an AJ fan, but these things happen.
It's the way it happened, bro. It's the way it happened. He'd have been better off getting starched. He would have been honestly, he'd have been better off getting starched.
Okay, go watch Ruiz Rahman.
It happens.
No.
But to go down like he did, and then at the end he didn't even know whether to quit or not. It was just the whole thing was a mess, and it's hard to bounce back from that mentally. I mean, Anthony Joshua claims to be mentally strong, and I think he put on this facade that he was okay after the fight, and he was humble, but when he got back to his hotel room, he was hurting inside, man.
No,
do you know what I mean? So,
well, what I'm saying is,
will he bounce back mentally? That's my thing, because that was a bad defeat, a real bad defeat.
All right.
Go ahead, BDA.
The Quacks just donated via the super chat. Shout out to the Quacks, and he says, hold on a second, I'm trying to get to the comment here. Ward is a master if the Puerto Rican uppercut. I think he says Ward is a master of the Puerto Rican uppercut. Now, is he saying that Puerto Ricans hit people in the balls all the time? Is that what he's trying to say? And if he's
saying that Puerto Ricans are dirty.
No.
All right, that's enough.
I'm not gonna have that. Not really gonna have that. And Recognize isn't here to defend his race, so we're not gonna go there. All right. When he gets here, then we'll make fun of Puerto Ricans. All right. Yeah.
Can I just say something, BDA?
Please.
What about these comments that we've been getting in our latest videos post AJ Ruiz, where these guys are saying that, oh, your god has finally lost or something like. Since when were we AJ fanboys? I don't understand.
Bucho, let me tell you something. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of people out there aren't all that bright. They like to make a lot of assumptions, they like to make a lot of suppositions, and they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Which is funny because I learned this the hard way. Just to remind people, we've only started this channel 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and I wasn't on the YouTube scene at all. I was just browsing message boards, whatever. So when we started covering the Canelo Triple G fight, we would make a video showing Canelo's strengths, and then the Golovkin fans would tell us that we were Canelo bitches. Then we would do a video showcasing Golovkin's strengths, and the Canelo fans would call us Golovkin dick riders. So you can't win out there. If we give credit to one guy, the fans of his nemesis give us shit, and then if we cover fighter B, the fans of fighter A give us shit. I'm used to that now. I don't give a fuck. Call me an AJ fanboy, call me a Wilder fanboy. I don't give a fuck. I'm a boxing fan first, and you guys are as well. So I'm not too worried about that, Buchu. Really not worried.
This is the thing, bro. I mean, there's certain people in the chat that thought I'd actually give a flying shit that Anthony Joshua lost. Like I'm totally all right. It's hurting from a national pride sort of thing because I knew the Americans and the Mexicans would give me stick about it in the chat. But that's all.
And we did.
I don't care about. Yeah, and I don't care about Anthony Joshua losing, and because I'm not invested in any fight. I'm a boxing fan. I'll put boxing before I put any fighter. And so, yeah, all these people that thought I'd be at home slitting my wrists with my Celine Dion album on. No, that didn't happen. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I said on the night of the fight, like right after the fight, we were joking. Oh, I hope Stu's not jumping off a bridge or whatever. But those are just jokes. You know what I mean? I mean, we break balls around here, but there's some people out there, autistic or just plain old stupid. They don't get the joke. They think everything we say here is serious. We're having fun here, guys. We're trolling a little bit. We're talking boxing. We don't turn this thing into a political standoff. And we save that for the last 10 minutes or 30 minutes of the show where we get bored with boxing. But yeah, that's the other subject here is the Wilder fans taking credit for what Ruiz did and trying to make it seem as if, well, in fact, that's what the meme that Bucho did, as you can see there on the bottom left of the screen, where you see Wilder and Joshua on top of Joshua, as if that's the way they're seeing the fight.
Wilder's the only fighter I know that's got an extra KO on his record for not fighting.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm looking at this article from the Daily Mail UK. Now, Stu, the Daily Mail, is that like a yellow journalist type paper, or which one
like
is
the Sun?
The Daily Mail, I mean, they call it right wing, but these days, I mean, the way the left wing, anyone centers right wing these days, but it's like I don't know if it's right wing. I'm not sure. It's a rag. I know that. All the newspapers in the UK are rags.
Is it like the Sun? Is it like the Sun newspaper?
It's on that level. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say that.
It's garbage.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because there's an article that I saw there today, and it says, apparently it's saying that Deontay Wilder was offered the Ruiz fight back in 2016, and they said that he didn't want to fight him because he said, if I fight him, he's a known guy, I gain nothing from it. So would it be fair to say that?
Andy Ruiz is like I said, I think Wilder could nick that, but Andy Ruiz does have a horrible style for Wilder. He has the sort of style that's going to beat Wilder. Whether he's good enough to do it himself, it's another matter, but it's going to be that style that Andy Ruiz brings that takes it to Wilder, because that's why I picked Povetkin to beat him before he aged terribly and Joshua got older. When the fight was meant to be in Russia, I picked Povetkin to win that fight because I thought that style would be a nightmare for Wilder, and I think Ruiz brings that sort of style as well. So
well, that brings up a good point, because I wasn't here hosting the show when we were talking about the post Joshua Povetkin fight. But what do you guys think happened in that fight? Because for the first 4 rounds, Povetkin was, for being a smaller guy, he was reaching Joshua and tagging him with pretty good shots. And then Joshua started firing his up jab, and he started hitting Povetkin quite clean with that jab. And then all of a sudden, Povetkin's energy from one round to the other just dropped, and he got caught. What happened in that? Like you said, did he go old overnight?
Well, just the difference between Povetkin and Ruiz is Ruiz was explosive and fast with his punches, where Povetkin was just they just didn't have no snap in them. They weren't that Povetkin of old that used to knock people out. He aged overnight, sort of thing, and he just looked slow and sloppy with his punches, and he just weren't quick enough on the night. Like you said, he was lunging in, throwing out of range, so he wasn't getting to plant his feet and landing them big shots. But so Joshua could see them coming. A lot of them were telegraphed as well, so he could see them coming, get out of the way. But with Ruiz, he didn't see him coming because they were fast and explosive, and he was coming underneath Joshua because he's just, he fights small, doesn't he, Ruiz, and tucks up behind the guard. A nightmare style for Joshua and Wilder, really. But I just didn't think Andy Ruiz would be good enough on the night, but he proved me wrong.
But let's keep it into perspective, guys. Let's not forget, and I wish I could do a fight analysis on this, but I'm afraid of getting, the channel shut down or something. We use the video right now. But you know what? We'll put the clip on Instagram. Joshua, the whole trouble for him started when he stepped in and started trading with Ruiz. In fact, the last shot as well, the one that put him down on the last round, was when he got caught with an overhand right. Now, like Bucho said, even from the start, he was too hesitant, but I thought he was doing pretty well, and I think with a couple of adjustments, he has a better chance of beating Ruiz from the outside rather than trading with him. If he stays on the outside and fights, I hate to say it, but if he fights in a boring fashion, kind of like
he's gonna land that right hand eventually. If you look at AJ, he was throwing jab, jab, right. He was catching Ruiz, man.
Yeah,
and at
great
some
point.
point, Ruiz, there's only so many of those right hands that Ruiz could have taken.
Exactly, Butcho. Great point. And the thing is, like you said, you got to wear your opponent. That's what Vladimir Klitschko would have done. And I was just going to say, I think Anthony Joshua's way forward is forget what the fans think, forget looking pretty for the desperate housewife brigade, and get in there and adopt a Manny Stewart sort of game plan. Yes, you're going to stink the joint out. Yes, you are, and you're going to lose fans. But if you want to win fights, you need to adapt a style where you can use your style. He needs to get rid of a stone and a half of muscle at least. So I mean, he's far too big, and trying to trim up and try to adopt a Vladimir Klitschko sort of European style, and just hope that he don't get clipped. I mean, that's the only thing I can suggest, because if he keeps fighting like the way he did against Ruiz, he's going to get clipped time and time again. Like I said, there's bigger punches than Ruiz out there, and if they had landed, there wouldn't be no 4 knockdowns. Josh would be still on the floor today. So that's the only alarming thing, about Joshua right now.
Well, what the hell is that? Okay. Let me ask you this then. The people are saying that Wilder, his fans are saying he's the best heavyweight in the world. By virtue of having beat the man who beat the man, shouldn't Ruiz be, by default, the #1 heavyweight in the world right now?
Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight.
Or Tyson Fury, yeah.
He's the best heavyweight in the world. Andy Ruiz, let's be real, Anthony Joshua, he got them belts because they got taken off Tyson Fury. Let's be real. They're Tyson Fury's belts. Tyson Fury scored a better Klitschko than Joshua beat. And Tyson Fury, out of shape, 3 years out of the ring, went to America and schooled Wilder for 10 rounds. All right, he got clipped. But, of course, he got clipped. Lack of match practice, shall we say. And he still wasn't in the best of shape. And mental fatigue kicked in. And when you're in there with Wilder, you have to get him out of there, because if you keep giving yourself breathers and let Wilder have his breathers, he's dangerous to the last bell. So you can't look slick on the back foot and try and outbox Wilder for 12 rounds, because you could really come unstuck. You've got to get him out of there, and I think that's where Fury went wrong. But for me, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. For Deontay Wilder's #2. I'm still sticking with Andy Ruiz 3. Joshua 4, Dillian White 5 for me. Right.
All right,
now.
but now hold on.
Usyk 4, Dillian White 5.
We gotta keep things here. I gotta straighten this out. So you're saying that officially in your rankings you have Fury #1.
I have Fury #1. Sorry, Wilder 2. I have.
But how can you have Fury? But how can you have Fury #1 if he hasn't officially beaten anybody since he fought Klitschko in 2015?
He beat Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, but not officially. You gotta go. But you gotta go with the official results.
Official.
Yeah, you.
Andre Ward officially beat Sergey Kovalev.
Yeah, no, we're not going with official here.
Well, I am.
Yeah, come on,
I'm going with official, man.
He won that fight clearly,
okay.
And take into account the shape he was in as well. You know, he's been out the ring. He'd fucking had more white up his nose than Tony Montana. So,
but listen, that opens up the door for manipulation, because then anybody can say, well, if it's a close fight and one guy gets the nod, you know how boxing fans are. Some guys are going to go, oh, well, actually, no, my fighter didn't lose that fight. He deserved to win, so I'm going to keep him #1. You can't, like, as awful as the decision can be.
Yeah, but all right then. So Wilder didn't beat Fury. So why does Wilder deserve to be above Fury then? What, because of fucking Tito Ortiz? No, sorry, Luis Ortiz. Tito Ortiz. Might as well have been Tito Ortiz. But what, because of Luis Ortiz? Are you telling me Luis Ortiz is a better win than Klitschko?
But I didn't say Deontay Wilder should be #1. But I'm saying is, I think Ruiz should be #1.
Come on, because he beat Joshua. Get out of here, man.
Hey, but Joshua, at least he beat
I think
Klitschko.
he should be #2. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Well, I think Ruiz should be #1 because he beat Joshua, who beat Parker, he beat Klitschko,
yeah, we're not going to do that.
Come on.
We have to let these champions, at least let these champions defend their belt before where we judge them, because it could have been like a lucky night, like Hasim Ratman.
Okay, but let me explain something. Let me clarify.
You say when Hasim Ratman knocked Lennox Lewis out, that he was the best heavyweight around when you had Tyson.
Stu, let me clarify. Stu, let me clarify, please. Let me clarify. Stu, let me clarify. I'm going with the official results. So I'll give you an example. When Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah, who was the lineal welterweight champion, Baldomir was the #1 welterweight. Now, I'm not saying he was the best welterweight Because there was Mayweather there was Zab Judah, who I think was better, there was Margarito, who I think obviously was better, Cotto was coming up, he was better. So I'm not saying, nobody was saying that Baldomir was the best welterweight, but officially he did beat the guy who beat the guy, so he was officially the champ. And I think it's the same thing with Ruiz. He beat the man who was officially recognized as number one heavyweight, so he right now is the number one. But I agree with you. I don't think I think Fury beats him. But Fury hasn't beaten anybody officially, so I can't put him number one.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but I'm just going by my list. I just use my list, and that's just the way it is. I know my list don't mean anything to anyone, but I'm going the way I see it, and I think
why would you put Wilder number 2? He's going number 3 in my list because he hasn't beaten anybody.
Yeah, well, because I forgot about Ruiz at the time, but now I'll remember. I'll probably put Ruiz too because he's. I just didn't. It's hard for me to take in Andy Ruiz as a heavyweight champion with 3 belts. So I've got to get used to this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Can we just talk BDA and Stu for like just 2 minutes, man? I mean, how would you see? I know this is not going to happen because obviously there's a rematch between Ruiz and AJ. But what if Ruiz fought Wilder? Because a lot of people in the chat say, and I've seen in the comment sections, oh, Wilder easily defeats Andy Ruiz. What do you guys think about that?
It's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I actually would favor Ruiz, man. Hello, what the long arms? When has when has Wilder used his range? With a good jab? No, never, man.
That shot that Anthony Joshua landed on Ruiz would have knocked out a horse, and he got it. He fucking got up. All right, he got taken off his feet, but that was just for the pure force of the thing. But he got up, and he still had his faculties about him. Got back in shape. And went about his business, man. That guy's going to take some stopping. I'm telling you that now. He is.
What if Ruiz and Wilder? What if Ruiz is on the inside? What's going to happen then?
Exactly. Wilder has no inside game whatsoever. He just holds at the back of the head.
He's going to try to hold, and like he's going to be all off balance. I mean, he's going to get caught, man. And by the way, Wilder's power again. People keep. I mean, because people look at the knockouts of Wilder, and they're all shocked and like, oh my God, look at how he knocked out Dominic Brazil. Nobody cares about these guys. Listen, when Wilder fights elite fighters like Tyson Fury, what happens? They don't stay down. They get back up. I remember clearly before that Tyson Fury fight, people were saying, oh, if Wilder lands, it's over. He landed twice. The guy went down twice. Oh, no, there was a long count and all these excuses. Fucking Tyson Fury went down and got back up. He won that fight. And if you think that this time in the second fight, Fury's actually going to really stay down, listen, Wilder will never get a better shot than that one that he got in that 12th round.
You know what, man? It's Deontay Wilder fans have to be. We were talking about this in another episode. Who are the most insane fans? Is it the Wilder fans? Is it the Pacquiao fans? Is it the Mayweather fans? Is it the Inoue fans? At this point, you got to give it to the Wilder fans. I mean, some of the things they say, it makes you wonder if maybe they got a bad batch of bath salts from Darnell over in the hood, because some of the things they say are insane. It just makes no sense. But they're trying to take credit. They're trying to give Wilder credit for this fight. They're trying to say that Joshua was avoiding Wilder. Then when it's clear that it was Wilder that was avoiding him, it's because it was a smart business move because he didn't want to commit to the zone. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's
well, you've got the Hebrew Israelites claiming that Ruiz is one of the 12 tribes or something.
Oh, come on!
it's a joke that they've also jumped on Ruiz's dick. You know, they were calling this guy a fat slob when the fight was made. So these guys, you can't take these guys too serious. That's why I don't really like to subscribe to their channels, because it just makes me angry, and I don't want to be angry. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but listen, just going back to what Pucho asked about the actual fight itself, Wilder versus Ruiz, I tend to agree with Stu. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think styles make fights, and I think Wilder has a better shot of beating Ruiz than Anthony Joshua, because Deontay Wilder is not a muscle-bound knuckle dragger like Anthony Joshua. He actually has some snap to his punches. Say what you want about him, but he's very methodical and very economical with his shots. He only throws a 1-2, so it's very rare to see him gassed out the way Joshua is. And that right hand, if it lands, he has a better chance of landing that right hand than Joshua did of landing his left hook, because Joshua would have to stay inside to land his power shots, his uppercuts, his left hooks, whereas Wilder can fully extend that right hand and be out of harm's way from that Ruiz's overhand right hand. But I agree with Bucho as well. It's not an easy fight. I think at this point you got to give Ruiz credit for some of the for his hand speed and for his timing.
I tell you what, though, right? Just look at this. When you go back, look at the size of Anthony Joshua's legs. They're like fucking tree trunks, right? Lifting them big things around for 36 minutes cannot be good for the tank. When you look at Wilder and Fury, their legs are like fucking chicken legs, but they do 12 rounds comfortably, don't they? Both of them. Do you know what I mean? So this size looking pretty for the ladies, and all putting all this muscle on and these big calves, and it's just totally wrong for fighting. You know, Anthony Joshua, he'll be in the movies when his boxing career is over. Guaranteed, he'll be a movie star. He'll be in the movies. He'll be one of the Expendables or something like that. Do you know what I mean? He'll make a good actor. He will, but that is not the physique for a world class boxer. Just not. Never has been.
Bucho, check the blog talk because it says we're running out of time. I think you forgot to set the.
No, it says that it's ready in 1 minute.
Oh, okay. All right. So with that being said, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. We're going to be putting up the number up on the screen so you guys can call in. Give it to us. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us something we might have missed. We want to hear it, guys. Bucho, take over, please.
Hey, so BDA, so did Andrew Ward say that he actually thought about moving up to heavyweight?
Yeah, that's right. But I forgot to also say, he did say what Stooges said. I didn't play that part, which is what I was supposed to play, but he did say, he said, listen, Joshua needs to stay out of the weight room. He needs to stop trying to look like a pretty boy, and he needs to get back in the boxing gym, do actual boxing drills and training, because what he's doing right now, it ain't working.
Start your show now. Press 1 to hear.
All right, so we are going in.
Your show will go live in 5
There you
seconds.
go. So we're going to go into
3,
Blog Talk
2,
Radio. Let me just
1.
wait for the announcement.
Blog Talk Radio.
All right, we are live on Blog Talk Radio right now. If you want to check out the full episode, go on over to YouTube BDA, and you can catch the full episode there. We are going to be taking phone calls. Let me put the number up in the description. Hold on a second. Hey, Bucho, by the way, is that going to, if I put the open lines GIF, is that going to block the other things we have there, or how does that work?
No, just put it behind the... What's it called?
Anyway, okay.
Event ticker. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
I'll take care of it. All right, you and Stu take over while I try to get this thing going. All right.
I think Joshua needs to be. He needs to be about 235 pounds. I'd say that's a start, right? Shed some of that muscle. Try and get a bit of speed in the punches, because the more muscle you've got, the slower you are, the stiffer you are, sort of thing. So he needs to get rid of that muscle. It's just not. I know I keep bringing up muscles, but this is one of his biggest problems. All that muscle's taking oxygen from him, which is probably starving oxygen to the brain, which is why someone brushes past him and he falls all over the place. I mean, it was embarrassing. It really was. It was really hard to watch. Very hard to watch.
Yeah, but it's more than just the muscles. It's something mental.
You're right, bro. Mentally, he was not there. He wasn't. But like I said, it's okay getting the mental thing right next time. But if you've still got the physical problems, then
Yeah.
I'm speechless when it comes to where Joshua goes. I mean,
there's a rematch. It's happening. It's official.
He could fight Ruiz, go out there and blast him out, and then everyone's fucking on his dick again. But I don't know. After that, it's hard for him to get that same aura about him. You know, the aura that he was indestructible sort of thing. You know, unbeatable. That aura he had, that's gone forever.
Yeah, but listen, Joshua still has the physical advantage. I believe he hits harder. I think he has the power advantages as well. He has a lot of advantages. He just needs to really stick to a game plan. Fight like Klitschko, man.
Did you hear that nonsense in the corner that him and Rob Lukaku were talking about? I heard
this guy.
Oh yeah, it's not ready. I'm not ready. It's not ready to throw the hooks yet.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like he's picking his moments when he can throw the hooks. Is he that arrogant? Fucking hell! And that Rob McCracken, what is he bringing to Joshua's game to improve him? Is he any better? Is he any better than he was under Tibbs? I say no, he's not. So I know he's the GB coach. He's the GB boxing coach, Rob McCracken, and he is a decent coach. But sometimes trainers and fighters don't gel, and I think this is one of the cases. I just don't see Rob McCracken taking Anthony Joshua any further. If I was Anthony Joshua, I'd go to Jonathan Banks now, mate. I'm telling you, I'd go to Jonathan Banks now. I'd be knocking his door down, and that's what I'd be doing.
All right, we got a phone call. Let's take that phone call right now. See what's up. Hold on a second, wasting this shit. All right, 623, you're on the line. 623.
What it do? I was calling in to say that Ruiz is the best heavyweight. He beat the man, so he should be the best. People talking about lucky night. We can say the same thing about Tyson Fury. He never defended his belts. He decided to smoke crack instead. You know what I mean?
Now, we got to be specific here. Cocaine. That crack, I mean, he's got the money to buy cocaine. He's not going to be fucking buying crack.
Because Stu was saying about it could be a lucky or whatever. We can say the same thing about Fury too, though.
I never said it's lucky. Listen, if you're gonna say I said something, then you have to be clear of what I said, because I never said that. I said we need to see what the next fight brings, because it could have been a lucky night where everything went right, like the Hasim Ratman situation.
Well, you
That's
said
what
that Fury is the best based on what?
I said based on my opinion. I didn't say he's the best for everyone to agree with me. Based on my opinion, because I have eyes and they work. That's why.
Zero.
I have eyes, they work.
Belt.
All right, hold on.
Crackhead belt.
Well, all right. So you think Tyson Fury's a crackhead? So do you think Ruiz is the best, like officially, because he beat the man who beat the man? He's the best right now.
Officially, yeah.
Okay, so but would you pick him?
You have to give it to him.
Absolutely. So my question to you is, who would you pick him against, and who would you pick against him?
I think Fury gives him the toughest fight, but I'd pick him over Wilder.
Now, against Wilder, chance-wise, percentage-wise, how do you see that fight? 50-50, 60-40 in favor of Ruiz?
I think not 50-50, just a little bit in his way. Not 50-50, though.
All right. Well, I think that's fair. I mean, that's one of the narratives that have been going on in this show, is that we're not impressed right now with the heavyweight division. There's nobody that looks unbeatable. Wilder has a huge right hand, but he's got awful technique. I think he's a knockout waiting to happen. Fury, he's too volatile and imbalanced mentally, despite what he says. Joshua, he already got taken out. So I don't see, and Usyk, he might be the dominant guy, but he might be too small, or he might not have a chin at heavyweight. I don't know. Caller, what do you think?
Yeah, we still don't know about Usyk. He still hasn't even fought yet, and people are ranking him top 5 and shit.
Yeah, that's
he hasn't even made his debut, so.
Listen, Usyk's not even had a fight. He's got to be he's in the top 5 for me. Just by not even having a fight. That's how bad the heavyweight division is. This guy's not even fought heavyweight, and he's in my top 5. I just feel that what I've been seeing lately, I think Usyk's going to do very well in this division.
I mean, he could fuck around and get his ass kicked by the new Butterbean and shit. We don't know.
No, it's all guesswork at the end of the day.
Butterbean was, I do have to wonder how the fuck that guy made money. It was Bob Arum that was promoting him, right? It was always on those De La Hoya cards, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm struggling to hear the caller, but I don't know how we got from talking to Usyk to Butterbean.
Well, it's the natural progression. What are you talking about? It's what Usyk is.
We got another caller too, man.
All right, so 623, thank you for calling in. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Ruiz number 1.
There you go. All right, 623, thank you for calling in. Call back next time, all right?
All right, next caller.
All right. He dropped. All right. Well, the other caller dropped, so we couldn't stay. All right, guys, call in.
I think it was Brandon B in the chat. Why did you fucking hang up?
No, he was on the line, he said.
No, I think he said he was waiting.
Oh, well, call back. Anybody? Listen, the phone lines are open for about another 2 hours, so call in. Whatever. The number's right up there. All right, so there you have it, guys. Right now, the heavyweight division is wide open. Okay, Brandon B says that we dropped him. We didn't drop you. Call in.
No, we didn't drop you, man.
It says caller has dropped, so we didn't drop you. Anyway.
Yeah,
are you kidding me, Brandon? Call again.
I'd like some of the guys that are quite loud in the chat to call in, because it'd be nice to see them come on and express.
We're civilized. We're not gonna fucking judge
come on, guys. Stop hiding. Come on, we're civilized.
This is nothing personal, just boxing talk. So
that's it.
By the way, speaking of the fans, let's read what the chat room is saying right now. Van Media says, please tell me what you think about Ward saying he beats AJ and Ruiz. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that from the ESPN clip. He feels confident that he would have done to Joshua what Ruiz did, but in his own way. He was quick to clarify that he would have done it his own way.
Yeah, but I just don't think Ward carries the same sort of power that Ruiz does.
Not even close.
I mean, not even fucking close. And let's be real, if Andre Ward had been hit with that shot that Anthony Joshua landed on Ruiz, then Andre Ward would still be asleep now. Mm-hmm. And that is a fact.
And the other thing is that Andre Ward's style was very, very dependent on a lot of clinching and wrestling and stalling. How is that going to work against guys that are bigger than him and that outweigh him by 50 pounds?
Yeah. Joshua would just hook his arms around him and snap his arms in half.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near big enough for heavyweight. I tell you, Ward's a very good fighter at light heavyweight, but come on now, heavyweight. It's not his division.
It's always surprising to me. I've never really talked about this, but in the Mayweather-McGregor fight, I know McGregor has grappling experience and all that, but when he was significantly bigger than Mayweather, and when they were in the clinch, he was doing whatever he wanted to Mayweather. Like Mayweather would try these old tricks of with the palm and the forearm on the face, and it wasn't working against McGregor. Mm-hmm. It had to do with the strength too, not just technique. So yeah, imagine Ward trying to clinch his way against Joshua. I mean, he would end up being the one that gets started.
Or Fat Ruiz, 260 something pounds.
Just the smell alone. The smell alone of fucking the tits on his face, the sweaty tits on his face. I mean, that would have been a nightmare.
Beat Joshua and Wilder, them sort of guys, you have to have fast hands and you have to have decent power. Simple as that. If you don't have them things, then forget it. I know Fury has fast hands though, and Fury's slick. It's just Fury has a one-off sort of style, but usually if you're going to beat Joshua and Wilder, that's the sort of style you need to come with.
All right, we got another caller. We got another caller. 901, you're on the air. 901, you're on the air. 901, you're on the air.
All right, fuck it.
Right. I'm going to keep him on the line, see if he wakes up. All right, 901, you're on the air. We're going to keep you on the line whenever you wake up from the bong.
Where's Brandon, man? Did you call, man?
No,
Brandon had some very good points that he was making in the chat.
Yeah, you're on the air, 901.
We didn't drop his call.
All right, so 901 is not responding. 901. 901.
Oh, forget it, BDA. I'm going to hang up on the guy.
Yeah, go ahead. Butcher's my screener, by the way. no, we're not actually screening the calls.
At the same time.
Yeah, we're not actually screening the calls. We don't even know. I think there's a feature for that, but all right, Butcher, there you go. You hung up on the guy. All right. So what else, Butcher? What else do you have there in your file?
Nothing.
All right, I'll bring something up then.
No, wait, hold on. So, was this upset good for the zone? I think it was, because everybody's talking about this fight, and then they're trying to figure out where you people watch the fight, and then they find out it's on the zone, and then there's gonna be the rematch, and then people are gonna be tuning in to the zone again. So, what do you guys think? Was it a good thing for the zone?
Yeah, because they're going to save a few quid, because no way Anthony Joshua can turn around and demand $30 million after that performance.
Well, apparently,
yeah.
Lawrence, what's his name? Lawrence Pugmire or Lance Pugmire? I always forget his first name. He tweeted that supposedly he heard that this fight did just slightly less ratings than Canelo versus Jacobs for the zone. Now, the zone is not divulging numbers as far as I know. Maybe somebody in the chat room can inform us if the numbers are available. But like I said, from what I was reading, because I got my pulse on the boxing community, a lot of people were saying that when they got back to the office on Monday, a lot of casuals were talking about this fight. In fact, when I went also on Bing News or Yahoo News, they were showing right on the front page, the sports, they had Joshua there and Ruiz. Or when I went to YouTube recommended videos, also there was that big upset, and the Zone, they have I think 1.8 million the day of the fight when they show the highlights. I think now it's at 9, or I mean it's getting a lot of traction. All right, by the way, we've got 901 back on the air. 901, you're on the air.
Yes, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, 901. Can you hear us?
Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. DAZN, and I want to talk about Anthony Joshua. He's a fraud. Anthony Joshua is a fake. He was a paper champion to begin with. Anthony Joshua, he quit on his country. Anthony Joshua let down Barry Hearn. He let down Eddie Hearn. He let down the whole UK. The whole UK, the United Kingdom, they came to support Anthony Joshua. And he quit. He quit. He spit his mouthpiece out on the floor. He got knocked down 4 times. And he got beat. It's not because he got beat. Anybody can lose, But this guy lost to Butterbean. Explain how he lost to a Butterbean, a 300-pound fat.
All right.
How did he lose?
All right. Butcher. All right. Butcher, do you recognize this man? Butcher, do you recognize who this is? This is Al Heyman, I think. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Oh, it's Al Heyman.
No, 901. You know what? 901 brought up a good point that we didn't even talk about yet, but I did mention it in the last podcast. We're not even talking about AJ quitting, because he essentially looked at his corner. He didn't respond to the referee. He wanted out.
Yeah, he quit. He quit. Simple as.
Plain and quit. Now, what was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Quit, man. Like I said, I'm the first to call out a quitter. Like I said, I can't be hypocrite here. If it was Darrell, I'd be screaming from the rooftop. So I've got to do the same with Joshua. Spat his gum shield out, quit. When the ref's asking you, do you want to continue, and you say nothing, it's sort of like a cowardly way of saying no, I don't want to. But the camera's on you, so you ain't going to say that. So you just sit there like a fucking retard and say nothing. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And yeah, he quit. But this is the thing, when you have a manufactured fighters, that are not really like Anthony Joshua is a tough guy. I wouldn't want to fight the guy, and he's obviously a decent boxer as well. He won Olympic gold. The guy can fight, but he's not a born and bred fighter. He's a manufactured guy.
I would fight him. I would fight him in a second. I'm not afraid of him.
A lot of manufactured guys. That's when they get found out. When you're in the trenches and you have to dig deep and you're in a war. Yeah. That's when you find out who the real fighters are. And that's one thing about Deontay Wilder. You can say we like about Wilder. He's a gobshite, an arrogant piece of work. He's limited with his technique and that lot, but he's got a heart of a lion. I guarantee you, Deontay Wilder would not have spat his gum shield out and done that. He would have gone out on his sword, and that's one thing I will say about Wilder. And I don't like to give up.
All right, James Erickson in the chat room is saying that Joshua wanted to continue. Then why was he standing around with his arms on the ropes, not responding to the referee? Maybe I missed that. Did he say yes? Because I didn't see that.
Nah, he said yes, but then they stopped it. Even though he said yes, but he didn't complain. His corner didn't complain, so that guy wanted to fucking quit.
Yeah, this guy El Cotto.
Anyways,
I think El Cotto in the chat room. I think he's Cotto's son, or maybe his son's. He said yes to the referee. Go back to the tape, morons. All right, so he's calling us morons, but he can't even spell. But he's calling us morons. He's calling us morons, but he can't even spell morons. First of all, right, go ahead, Butcher. Just wanted to make that point.
No, but he did wanted to continue, but he just said yes, but he was unsure of himself. Listen, forget what he said or not. All right, just look at his reaction.
Exactly, Butcher. At the end of the day, that guy, he didn't want it. You'll see a guy that wants it. Look at that Tommy Coyle. All right, he got his ass whooped by Algieri, but the guy, he still wanted it. He was getting up. Yeah, I want to continue. Put his gloves up. Come on, let me continue. That's a fighter. All right, he got his ass whooped, but he's still a fighter. Joshua was just sitting there looking at his corner, looking at Eddie, wondering where his gum shield was.
No, but he was tired. He knew he had 0 in the tank, so he.
Ocho, you're becoming an anti-Joshua apologist.
No,
can I give my 2 cents?
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry, bro. We didn't see you there.
Yeah,
I did see him, and I was waiting for you.
worries.
I was waiting for you guys to. I was waiting for a moment, but now you.
Okay.
There we go.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
All right, we got Precise on line. Precise, is there anything? What did you want to say?
I just wanted to say that I agree, and this is just my opinion. The man quit. However, I thought the stoppage was awful, and I thought the referee was very happy to help Anthony Joshua quit, because what he should have done, in my opinion, is yelled at him something like, "Look at me. Do you want to continue? Look at me," right? Like, just gotten his attention, slapped him around a little bit verbally, just to see what was up with him. The referee was too happy, in my opinion, to just call this fight off. He should have been more assertive. Obviously, Joshua should have been more assertive too, but maybe he was dazed from the punches. Who knows what's going through his head, right? The referee needed to be like, "Look, I'm gonna stop the fight unless you give me some, signs of life, or I'm gonna stop the fight." He should have been very, very assertive and let him know that he's in danger of having the fight stop. He didn't do that, so I do think AJ wanted out mentally. He was done. He didn't want to be there, but I think the referee was all too happy to oblige him. That's just my take.
All right, I saw
Maybe
the
there's another phone call.
I know, I saw
it.
The referee. I thought he was giving AJ the chance to keep going. He should have said, "Hey, you want to fight? You want to fight? Okay, let's fight." But he kept asking him, "Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight?" Well, I mean, if the guy's not, he says, "Hey, this isn't a break." He should have just said, "Fight, protect yourself at all times," and that's it. I thought he was giving Joshua time to keep going. But anyway, hold on a second. Let me just take the phone call here. Let's see if they answer. 2929, you're on the air. 929.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Yes, hello, 929.
Yeah, I think Stu brought up an interesting point earlier in the show where Joshua, has to develop a style that isn't a crowd pleasing. Not too long ago, years ago, like 7 years ago, I look at Tim Bradley when he fought Pacquiao. He was on the balls of his skis all the time. He was a very good boxer. Like, he won a controversial decision, and he got a lot of flack for it, for gloating about winning the controversial decision. And I guess that kind of got to him. And then when he fought Provodnikov, he started slugging it out. And I think years of that, kind of ruined him. Well, it pretty much did. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let me ask you to please talk louder a little bit, because we are having a little bit hard time hearing you. But I did hear what you said. Essentially, guys, if anybody didn't hear him, what he said was Timothy Bradley, when he was fighting Pacquiao or pre-Pacquiao, he was showing more movement. He was on the balls of his feet. And then by the time he fought Provodnikov, he started just slugging it out. And he thinks that it took some years away from his career. Now, caller, do you think Joshua, because Joshua did show an inability to really pull the trigger against Joseph Parker. Do you think he's always been a limited fighter, though?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been knowing that since the Dillian White fight, that he's very chin happy and can have a limited gas tank. So if he punches himself out, he could be in very big trouble. And that's what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's going to be very interesting to see if he can adapt, or whether he can. Because that's one of the things I said, Stu, is this going to be another Lennox Lewis where he gets in with a new trainer and can get better, or is he just going to stay the way he is?
Listen, let's be real. Anthony Joshua, there's still talent there. He's no bum. Let's not get all twisted up here and start calling him a bum. He's no bum. There's a lot of talent still there. He's got to get right mentally and physically, and they're the two key parts of boxing. And unfortunately, if you're not right with them, then it's a long road back for him. But if he can come in decent shape, when you look at the shape that Lennox Lewis was in against Hasim Ratman, I mean, he was in horrible shape. He fought in South Africa, I believe, at high altitude, terrible shape, doing movie shoots, turned up in second gear and got knocked out, sort of thing. But the second fight, he came in tremendous shape, the leanest I've ever seen Lennox Lewis, and look at the explosiveness that he showed that night. I mean, one of the most satisfying KOs I've ever seen in the boxing ring when he knocked out Hasim Rahman. And Joshua, he's got it in him to do that. He can hit hard, but like I said, there's a lot of work to do. I believe he needs a new trainer for a start, and I believe he needs to look at his physique and trim that down a bit, and then we'll see from there. But like I said, the mental thing, we'll never know until he gets in the ring again.
All right, the caller 929. You wanted to say something else?
Yeah, I mean, can you believe that? All right, now that Andy Ruiz has to be bouncing, I'll put it to him. But like, can you believe that he wants the fight, the rematch in Mexico? Like, what other venue is aside from like say El Estadio Azteca? Does he want to fight in? And the last time I checked, Mexico City has a very high altitude, and that's not very good for a guy who gets winded.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Essentially, what the caller said was that Ruiz wants to fight. I think Ruiz, he said, in Mexico. That's a very bad idea. Like he said, with the altitude in Ciudad de Mexico, it's hell for anybody that's not attenuated to that fucking altitude. So 929, thank you for calling in. We appreciate the call,
right,
and
man. Cool.
call back again next time. All right, man?
All right, man.
All right, take it easy. All right, there's tonight. Yes, Precise, go
Are you
ahead.
gonna take another call? No. Here's something that I haven't heard anyone mention. It just occurred to me. They fought in New York, right? So after that third round where Joshua looked like he was out of it, got put down twice. Why didn't they give him an extra 20 seconds or so after the bell rung for the fourth round, like they did Wilder?
Oh.
Why didn't the doctor come over to check him all out? Shine the flashlight in his eyes, give him a maybe some amphetamine or something.
Yeah, great
you
point.
know what I mean?
Great point. I said it in my video that I did earlier, Precise. Exactly the same thing. The difference is the memes could have been out about Wilder. We could have been sitting there laughing about Wilder being KO'd. But fortunately for Wilder, he got his break when the bell rang, and he got an extra minute afterwards when they decided to get the ref to have a look at him. I mean, I've never seen it happen before. Disgraceful. And you can see that's corruption at its finest. And we could have been talking about Wilder being KO'd. It's just little small details like that. And yeah, I think you made a great point.
I disagree. And Deontay Wilder's going to show you, he's going to prove all of you motherfuckers wrong in the rematch against the boogeyman of the division, and that is Luis Ortiz. And hey, by the way, one interesting question. Wilder was avoiding Joshua. Ruiz beat Joshua. So is Luis now the boogeyman of the heavyweight division?
No, apparently there's no longer any boogeymans, and it looks like Wilder is the ultimate heavyweight champion.
Like I said, we won't know if Ruiz is the boogeyman or not, because he's tied at contracts to fight Joshua next. He can't go anywhere. He has to fight Joshua, and we have to see if he knocks out Joshua again. Then there's not going to be people queuing up to fight him, aren't there? But I think Wilder and Ruiz would be next if he beats Joshua again. I think Al Heyman will make that fight quick, and I think Wilder will fancy his chances.
Well, I tell you, man, it's certainly interesting, the heavyweight division. Interesting, but not great, because like we were saying, we were comparing, what's his name, Luis to Joshua. But let's face it, Luis was showing world-class skill, and he went to war with people, and he could lead with left hooks, right hands. He had an outstanding jab, control of the distance, and then once he got in there with Emile Stewart and wasn't ashamed to clinch or hold behind the head and throw right up, because he became a real force to reckon with. Joshua, though, I don't think. Look, listen, Lennox Lewis, the greatest Canadian heavyweight of all time. That's right, Stu, Canadian. Joshua, though, has he ever really shown us world-class skills?
I'm not letting you get away with that one.
All right. No, but seriously, I mean, how much more can Joshua do to improve here?
Struggling, mate. Because like I've said before, you get the best shape of your life. You can get the best trainer out there, But if you're reacting like that every time you get clipped at the side of the head, what's the fucking point at the end of the day? We have to see. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stories and conspiracies coming out about this fight. So I need to see the Ruiz rematch to really judge where Anthony Joshua goes from here. Because like I said, he could bounce back in style like Lennox Lewis did. It's happened before. Fighters do it. I mean, didn't Holyfield bounce back when he lost to Riddick Bowe as well? So, it can happen. But like I said, there's a lot of flaws there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of flaws. We got Cameron on the line.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
That's right. Cameron, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Not much. Just talking episode 2 of the Ruiz Joshua saga. Where were you when the fight? Because I asked you on Hangouts if you saw the fight, but I forgot to ask you. Were you at home or were you out carousing?
Yeah, I was at home watching it, but I went straight to sleep after because I was out before the fight, so I missed the show, which I was a bit gutted about.
All right. Now, before we continue, hold on a second. We just got a phone call here. Let's take the phone call before we continue. 917. You're on the air. 917.
What's going on? Is the real recognize?
It's the wait a minute. Recognize?
What's going on, man?
What the hell you do? Why aren't you on the Hangouts?
On the road and I'm listening.
Until 2008, apparently.
Okay, so 2008.
All right, I think we're back. Can everybody hear me out there in BDA land, on YouTube land rather? Can anybody hear me? I need an answer, and I need it right now. You guys let me know if you can hear me, and then we can get back to the show on the road. I don't know, I got the blue, or is it the green screen at death? Which one? One of those. All right, so people are telling me, yes, we are back. Thank you for bearing with us. We're just going to have to resend the links. We were in the middle of taking a riveting phone call from Recognize the Matrix. Lionbauer says, are you ready to fight? Yeah, all right. My goodness gracious. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it goes down here, BDA Boxing. Every once in a while, we got to deal with this type of hijinks. So we're going to have to resend the links because we had to do another hangout. We got Bucho on the line. All right, Bucho, did you send the links?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay. Because then you got to take over, and then I got to get back to the phone calls. I got to sign in to Block Talk. So thank you guys for bearing with us in these difficult times. You know what? You know what it was, Butch? I think it was Cameron. He brought his internet aids into the show, and that's why it shut down. This stream's immune system got attacked by Cameron's disgusting aids. Oh, we got to recognize are you there?
Sí, señor. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, muy bien. Gracias por estar aquí. First of all, my fucking soundboard ain't working now. This is fantastic. Nothing works
who
here.
needs a fucking
Nothing works here at the BDA studio anymore.
Point.
We gotta upgrade. Bucho, I told the fucking board of directors, increase our budget, please. And they're like,
oh,
well, we're gonna take, $50 for a hammer, $100 for a broom. Go fuck yourselves. Meanwhile, the whole
not to add to the complaint, but I think Precise will back me on this. We still haven't gotten paid.
All right, first of all, checks in the mail, baby. It's coming. All right,
sure?
You know that. Oh shit, fuck yeah, man. You think I'm
well,
gonna
you
let
didn't
you guys
clean that cereal that somebody dropped in the cafeteria, man.
Yeah, well, you didn't clean the
shit. Did I leave? Did I already? Maybe I left too early. I apologize.
And what about Darlene? Darlene, the crazy ex-employee. She fucking rubbed shit all over the fucking bathroom, man. The bathroom
She has a nice rack, though.
Yeah,
she had a nice rack.
The fuck?
Yeah,
well, I got a check yesterday, but it was the white privilege check, so I'm still waiting for the BDA check.
You know, Precise. I applied for that. It said a little too tan. That's what they told me. Just a little.
You get half of one. You get half of one.
I think I'm gonna get half of one. So I was like,
because you a African,
right?
African. All right, guys, you take over. You got Butcher. Did you invite Stu via this?
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes back. All right, you guys take
there's
over.
A phone call. Can I take a phone call? Oh, somebody dropped.
Well, I you can't take the phone call because I have to log in. So
well, okay.
Take over, guys, and I'll be right back.
Well, I don't know what the hell were you guys talking about?
I got something to say because I wasn't on the show the other day. I don't agree with the people. This Ruiz Joshua. I don't agree with the people who put it up there with Tyson, Douglas, and Lewis. These upsets because Joshua. Precise said it before we come back on. So many fighters have shown vulnerabilities in Joshua throughout his career. Povetkin, Parker, even Takan did, man. Klitschko. I thought, people say he had this invincibility about him. I don't agree with that. I never thought Joshua had this invincibility about him. I'm not surprised that he lost. I'm more surprised that Ruiz won. But even Nista in the amateur stopped Josh. He was similar size to Ruiz. He obviously folded. There's something wasn't right about Joshua in the thing, but I don't agree with the people who put up there with Tyson Douglas, man. I don't think it's anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. I would agree with that. I don't think it's at that level. I think it's an upset, absolutely, but it's not. It's not an upset of that level. Not in my opinion.
No, because Tyson was invincible.
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson was invincible, and what's his name? Fucking AJ. We already saw some vulnerabilities, so there was a lot of questions there.
If we judge it on that, yeah, I mean, like Tyson, Tyson at that point was steamrolling through his opponents. Where, Joshua he won all his fights and he won all of them by knockouts, just about. But he did show like he can be beaten. I think he almost got killed against Vladimir Klitschko and a couple other fights too. Physique breaking his nose, Parker, touching them and fucking making them, putting them on kind of like Queer Street. So yeah, so I mean, I think.
What about Dillian White rocking him to his boots?
Dillian White. I mean, look, like Dillian White.
Man,
Dillian White was like, I thought that was a good test for Joshua, and he showed something in that fight because, you know, looking at it now, I mean, he got rocked. If that was the same Anthony Joshua, I think we're talking Dillian White by knockout for sure.
I said that earlier. I said exactly the same thing. If Dillian White was in the ring that night, can you imagine if he'd landed that left hook on Anthony Joshua that night?
Yeah, he was having panic. And he was having a panic attack. Forget it. He would have been really having a panic attack after that.
Well, why was he having
I
panic
said
attacks?
earlier,
I don't understand.
Well, I said earlier, I don't think it's panic attacks. I think it's just the pressure got to him because he just took too much on. Eddie Hearn piles too much pressure on this guy. He bigs him up to be fucking some Greek god, you know, and unbeatable specimen. And he's got him doing all this advertising shit. And he took his eye off the ball. He forgot that he had a dangerous opponent in there, in Andy Ruiz. And
that's a good point, yeah.
I think the loss will do him the world of good.
The pressure got to him because it was Madison Square Garden. The lights came on, and then he realised, "Fuck me." There's no turning back now.
You know something? We were talking offline, and I think that he has to. He's one of those guys because of his upbringing in terms of boxing. That's what I'm talking about. Like his upbringing towards the boxing. He's the type of guy that needed a loss like that if he's going to take it to the next level because he's like learning on the job. It makes perfect sense now. I mean, obviously, we would have loved to. I would love to say, yeah, I told you so. That this was eventually going to happen like that. But now that it happened, it's like it makes perfect sense. If he's to become anybody, he needed to get his ass whipped like this, so that way he can learn, experience. Like he doesn't have no experience.
Do you think he started?
If he loses the rematch, he's fucked.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said the same.
Yeah.
But he's got nowhere to turn. If he goes and takes a warm up, mate, no one's going to take to that. No one at all. He's got to go and fight Ruiz.
Yep.
Those belts, they're gonna take those belts away if he takes a warm up or something.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So,
well, there's a thingy going around that they might strip Ruiz of the IBF and Fury Tyson against Pulev will be for the vacant belt. That's what I see.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, the IBF are real sons of bitches.
Yeah.
It tells me fuck. I mean, I know we're talking about this undisputed crap, but Joshua needs to get that win back, not with the belts.
Yeah,
he needs to win that fight.
I recognise. Do you think Anthony Joshua started to believe his own hype too much?
So his own, yeah, of course, man. They all do. I'm just not gonna throw it on him, but yeah, he definitely did. He's feeling himself, right? Listen, think about it. He's a well-mannered, spoken guy. He has like, money. He's built like a fucking machine. He's sort of like a handsome guy. These girls like him and shit like that. Yeah, he's feeling. He thinks he's the shit. Yeah, and he got knocked out.
See, this is my problem with Joshua. He's too wrapped up in looking pretty for the ladies instead of doing what's right for his boxing career.
That's exactly right.
He started to take his eye off the ball. I could see it. It just weren't the hunger there. There's an arrogance in the way he strolled around, and I just think he started to believe his own hype, and that's the worst thing that can happen to a fighter. When this guy preached humbleness for how long? But deep down, I don't think he was very humble himself, sort of thing. So
he was trying to play off. He was trying to play off this act like you've been there before confidence, right? It's like act like you've been there. Don't act like Wilder, right? Wilder is a clown. You can tell he's from the ghetto. He has no mannerisms, and AJ wants to be the opposite of that, but in a false way. Like, look, AJ's not ghetto. I'm not saying that. Or he didn't grow up like it looks like he grew up in a loving family where they taught him like, listen, mannerisms matter, right? You got to represent yourself well. But it was sort of false. It was sort of like a false this false confidence that I'm AJ, look at me, I'm above anything type of thing.
Yeah, but I still think he's a nice guy. I still don't think he's the sort of guy that deserves to
absolutely
to be bashed and meaned and all sorts. I mean, I don't mind it when it's a real piece of work, like Broner or someone like that. You know what I mean? That he deserves it. But Joshua's never really deserved that sort of flack. He is a nice guy, isn't he? You know, he has tried to fight the best. Say what you like about him, and he's achieved a lot in a small career, sort of thing. So I've always backed him because of that. It's hard to watch him get the stick he gets, but like I said, when you got Eddie Hearn putting him on a pedestal, so like this, these guys are waiting like a pack of wolves to pounce on him when he drops. And
hey guys, let me just guys, let me just. We're trying to test, see if the phone call still works. So I gotta take a phone call from somebody here to see if people can hear me. All right. All right. 4-3. I mean,
Right.
well, yeah, you're on the line. No, they can't fucking hear us on the phone calls. Fuck.
I got a question for Stu when you can.
All right. Yeah. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Would you rate Saturday night? Take away the Joshua fight, but talk about the whole fucking card as Matchroom's worst night in boxing history.
No, I enjoyed the night of boxing. I thought it was a good night of
No,
boxing.
I mean, like in terms of their results, right? Like Kelly drawing and Taylor.
I mean, I thought Katie Taylor. That was a close fight. I mean, it's Josh Kelly and the Taylor fight were very similar. I mean, where one of them's throwing the classiest shots and the other one's throwing a hell of a lot of mush, if you get what I'm saying. A lot of sloppy old mush, but they're working constantly. So it's to some people's eyes, it looks like they're winning the fight. I had Taylor, and I know people are going to say I'm biased now and I'm a Brit, but I actually had Taylor and Josh Kelly just nicking it. But I thought it was. I thought Kelly was poor, to be honest with you, and I thought Taylor was even worse. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend they were great. I thought Callum Smith was tremendous, but
yeah, he was.
And we need to see a bit more than Hassam and Dam. But I get that. But yeah, I mean, Joshua, really, it's Joshua for me. Tommy Cole's never going to beat Algieri anyway. But for me, Joshua was the big one. That was the one that hurt the most, if you get what I'm saying.
All right, guys. Let me just. Oh fuck, we lost a caller. All right, no, sorry. Keep going. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. God damn it.
Go ahead, Cameron.
No, was you going to say something, Recognize?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think there's a lot of things. I've seen loads of conspiracies about this fight a weekend, but I don't know, man. There was a rumor going around that I don't know if anyone else has seen that he was knocked down sparring in fight weight by Caballero and fucking all this crap. I mean, there's so many excuses to be made for him. Man.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, man.
They showed a clip. This is channel that this is guy I follow on. He's a boxing guy. And on Instagram. So he played a clip where you can hear Joshua saying, "No, Dad, it's on me." He's telling his father, "It's on me," while he's going after Eddie Hearn, who looks like a little schoolboy who got caught doing something bad. I mean, it's kind of funny, but listen, everybody has excuses going into a fight. Like, nobody's life is perfect, man. Like, everybody has certain situations going on. He choked, man. That's it. The bright lights scared him. Whether he was having a panic attack in the fucking locker room. How do we know Ruiz didn't get a phone call like, "Hey, we just, we don't have no water in the house," or some shit like that, Like, everybody's got. No, I'm just saying, like, there's always outside distractions, so like everybody has them, like.
What was his dad doing? What was his dad doing after the fight, trying to get to Eddie Hearn? He wanted to smack Eddie Hearn up. I want to know what the ins and outs are of that. That's going to tell us a lot. He was furious with Eddie Hearn.
You can hear
Anthony Joshua was holding back. So,
dude, you can hear Joshua screaming, "No, Dad, it's on me. It's on me."
What's this channel?
It's a guy on Instagram. He goes by Boxing Junkie. The boxing, the boxing junkie is what he goes by.
Joshua said, I can't remember what round it was, but he said, didn't he, during one of the rounds, he goes, "Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like this?" So something was well off, man.
He was poisoned like Klitschko against Brewster.
Oh, come on. Klitschko Brewster.
Klitschko against Brewster.
I mean, there's always that little,
Hey, man, like, if all of this is speculation, man. Anybody's fucking word is worth exactly the same. Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, when he was saying that, I thought you're getting your shit pushed in. That's why you feel like that. Fucking hell, man.
I mean, listen, it happens. It happens, man.
Some worked right. Some worked right with him though.
Listen, if you don't fix when you don't try to fix results, right? This is what happens.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose a fight here and there. That's what's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
I still stick to the. I think the nerves got to him on the night, and when you're built like that, you don't. Obviously nerves burns a lot of oxygen and energy, sort of thing, and you don't want to be feeling like when you've got that sort of physique, you do not want to be wasting your energy. Exactly.
You need
And
to
I think
reserve all
he
of
was
that.
probably his tank was probably half empty before he even stepped over the ropes, and that's a problem because he was flagging after. To 3. I mean, he, as soon as he got caught, man, the fight, he never got his legs back, and that was a sign of fitness to me, and not being really badly hurt because his eyes weren't exactly rolling above his head. He weren't exactly doing a fucking Sammy Davis Jr. dance, was he? He was. Well, he wasn't. He wasn't really hurt, but he just had no
he was
legs. It's
laughing.
just like. And once you lose your legs, you can't get no power in your shots, and you could see the snap when in his punches and everything. And it was a matter of time. Ruiz was getting stronger into the fight, showing his amateur pedigree, just tucking up behind the guards, staying in shape, picking his moments. I mean, he was getting stronger. There's no way Joshua could have found a way back. Even his second win that he got against Klitschko wouldn't have helped him against Andy Ruiz that night. Wouldn't have.
I thought when Ruiz was tagging him up, because he was actually laughing when he, man. He didn't. Do you guys think he quit or not? Because I think he did, man. Like the way he wanted out of there straight away. He didn't want any more
I don't
part of
think he
that.
quit. I don't think
I thought he did. Yeah.
I didn't think he wanted any more of that.
This is what I mean by quit. Like I don't think he quit. Quit is like, all right, stop this fight, please. Somebody help me. Like, or me just saying, look, I'm done. He got the fight beat out of him. He was trying to respond, and he was like, yo, I don't got it. This guy's fucking me up. There's a big difference. Like, did Hasim Rahman quit when he got fucking laid out, or he just got knocked out? Right? Against Lennox Lewis in the rematch. He just got knocked out. That's what happened. He didn't quit.
For me, I take a really extremist stance. For me, it's like you either go out on your shield or you quit. There's no in between, but that's just me.
Right. I mean, if you're saying that somebody getting knocked out of their senses, and they can't answer that, and you feel like that's a form of quitting. All right, that's a standard. But to me, that's not. That's like, look, somebody chin checking you, and you can't respond. Like maybe you want to, but you're like, I can't. It's like I can't get up. The dude just he just ended the fight. That's what happened. Ruiz for me at least. Ruiz beat the fight out of him from the third round on. Like he just had him. He kept him hurt, and yeah, I'm not gonna say he quit. I'm just gonna say he just got the fight beat out of him.
He did get the fight beaten out of him, but I think he still quit. I think he checked out mentally. I mean, was he tired? Yeah, but he wasn't like buzzed. His eyes were clear. He wasn't falling all over himself. He was just exhausted. I mean, we've seen so many heavyweights. We've seen so many heavyweights fight through exhaustion before. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he didn't go out on the shield for me.
No, he didn't, mate. No, he didn't. And that's what I'm saying. That's something he'll never forget that, and nor will the boxing community. That's one thing. I think the boxing community are quite tough. They don't let it go when a guy doesn't go out on his shield, and that's why a lot of people that have quit on their stall have been terrorized ever since. So I know he didn't quit on his. I know he didn't quit on his stall, but quitting standing up and quitting on your stall is the same thing.
For me, Vic Ortiz quit against Mayweather. You know, that's just how I judge this shit. You know what I mean? For me, he quit too.
Listen, I can understand it, but a traditional way, like he didn't quit, like not in my. The like I don't want to fight. Like man, you could get hit so hard. This never happened to me, of course, because I'm a god. Excuse me. But you could get hit so hard that somebody makes you say, like you say to yourself, "Oh shit, he just knocked me out, or he knocked the senses out of me. I can't continue." You know. That could have been that. It could have been that situation. That's what it looked like. It looked like he just said, "Man, this dude."
The thing is, though,
this little fat dude just beat the shit out of me.
Like I said with Wilder, right? And at least when Wilder got clipped, right, he was all over the place, but he fucking showed tremendous heart and will to win. I mean, Joshua showed none of that. He was falling all over the place. I mean, it was just a joke. It really was. But at least with Wilder, he tried to stay on his feet. He was trying to hold. Weren't he? He was trying to throw back. He was all over the place. Don't get me wrong, but you could see that Wilder's got that will to win and that heart. I think Wilder would have gone out on his shield that night, but not Joshua.
I agree. Wilder's powers Wilder recovers a lot better than Joshua, man, when he gets tagged.
Yeah, well, he's fitter. He's a lot fitter than Joshua, isn't he? Let's be real. He's a lot fitter. He could do 12 rounds comfortably. Deontay Wilder can. Joshua can't.
Yeah.
I can't see Joshua. I mean, the way to beat Joshua, even if you're not a massive puncher, just take him to the latter rounds. Wait for him to shoot his load, shoot his bolt, or whatever you want to call it, and just take him out because he hasn't got 12 rounds in him, mate.
That's why I was picking Usyk to stop him.
Oh yeah, I'm picking Usyk too. Joseph Parker could have beat Anthony Joshua, but Joseph Parker just doesn't have that fight in him. He doesn't care if he wins or not. He just doesn't have a will to win. And if he did have that, then he would have beat Anthony Joshua that night.
You know, I was very happy with the result, man. And it's not that I hate AJ. It has nothing to do with that. I actually like him. I think I consider myself a fan of his. I like the guy. He's a good fighter. But I'm happy it happened that way because it explains what the heavyweight division really is. You get a guy in there that knows how to box, and this is what's going to happen. I'm not saying that they can't come back and win, but like Usyk, somebody brought up Usyk. Like, I think Usyk beats him, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder, like 3 out of 3 times. Look, if he gets caught with a big shot, but you don't really judge fights like that. I'm talking about boxing skills, right? Like just pure boxing skills. Come on, man. Usyk beats these dudes. He outboxes them.
Now people keep saying we haven't seen Usyk at heavyweight yet. So,
well, listen, okay, I agree with that.
I have. I've seen him at heavyweight.
He was
in the world boxing series before he turned pro, man.
I'll tell you something now, right? I see him at the press conference with Andy Ruiz, Joshua, and he's put on a lot of muscle. I'm not saying Joshua sort of muscle, but the muscle that he needed to just grow into that weight, and he's looking at a beast. And if he can bring that if he can bring the same footwork and the same quickness with that extra weight, then he's gonna smash into pieces. He really is.
Yeah, I've seen Usyk for me. I mean, my old man thinks Usyk beats every heavyweight out there. I don't know if I think stylistically, maybe Tyson Fury size-wise might be a problem.
Yeah, that's the only one for me. That's the only one for me that I can see outboxing him, or
yes.
Not outboxing him, but just keeping up with him, right? Like he's gonna have his moment in boxing, but like when it comes to Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Dillian White, I think those guys got to knock him out. That's what they have. They can't win a boxing fight against him.
The thing with Fury, I think Fury's the sort of guy that with Usyk, because he knows I don't think Fury can outbox Usyk. I think Fury would take it to the trenches and just start leaning on Usyk, playing roughing him up and hitting him with elbows, sort of thing, and just taking his. Because when you're given that sort of weight, it takes its toll in the end, doesn't it? When you've got a big man leaning on you, and I think that's the way Fury would do it. He'll just make it scruffy and messy, and that's how he'd have to beat Usyk. Because if he tried to outbox Usyk, I think he could get picked apart, sort of.
Let me read some comments in the chat. G Boogie says Usyk will kick everybody in the heavyweight division if he still remains the same. Hold on, the fucking messages are moving. Who else? We have Van Media says Wilder sleeps Usyk. Then Brandon P says you guys want Wilder to lose so bad. All right. So
yes,
the thing is, you can't really argue with people.
That's what I want.
You can't really, you know, when people say that Wilder would knock out Usyk and that, you can't really just because he's got that right hand. He could do it, man, if he lands. I mean,
it's all opinions at this point. It's all opinions. Like, who gives a shit, right?
I think it's going to take a world class puncher. I'm sorry, a world class boxer like Tyson Fury and Usyk. I think to survive Wilder, because they're smart enough to see the shot because Wilder telegraphs it. So a smart boxer will see that coming in and mostly get out of the way of it. But when you're like limited in skills like Dillian White and people like that, and they're just going to walk onto it and this night time. But I think Usyk, like Tyson Fury, I mean, he's very smart. He'll see that coming a mile away.
Usyk is not going to stand in front of Wilder. He's going to keep circling, and Wilder's going to. Yeah. He's got 2 left feet, so he's going to fall all over him. His goddamn self. Usyk really has to make a mistake.
Yeah, it's whether Usyk can carry that power up to hurt the heavyweights, because he's going to have to start having effect with his punches. He's going to have to start hurting these heavyweights because, like I said, when you're in there with a heavyweight, you do not want to be hanging around for 36 minutes every fight, because like it could come to cost you, like it nearly did Tyson Fury. So I think that's my only worry with Usyk, whether he's got enough power to stop these guys like he does at cruiserweight.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Johnny boy?
What's up, Johnny boy?
What's good? Fucking listen. There ain't no excuses for Anthony Joshua. What's this? I'm fucking Tony Soprano. I had a panic attack while I was out cooking steak. For Christ's sakes. Let me just give my 2 cents real quick here. And Brandon B, you're a fucking moron. But anyways, but I was going at him with the chat. But anyways, look. The kid was a fucking 33-1 underdog. He was a late replacement, so I don't want to hear none of that excuse bullshit from Joshua neither. Now, if he's great, he can come back and win the rematch. That separates the good ones from the great ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might be I'm not saying it's the exact same situation, but he's in a little bit of the fucking Lennox fucking Rockman situation over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I don't want to hear none of this shit. Oh, he got fucking concussed in sparring. He fucking had a panic attack while he was out on the grill making sausages and no. If you had that much shit going on outside the ring, you should have said something.
Let's wait for the rematch. That's what I keep saying. Let's wait for the rematch.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing else we can do, you know? I mean, fuck.
No matter how you slice it, like, this was a great thing for boxing. It's going to be upsets such as these that are going to finally get rid of this goddamn undefeated Mayweather curse. You know, we don't need any more of this shit. There's going to be fights like these that are going to weed out all the faggot-ass boxing fans, because, you know, as soon as Wilder loses, a whole bunch of Wilder crew is going to jump on some other dick. So
yeah,
you know, as long as these guys keep losing, man, like they collect some losses, that's gonna weed out real boxing fans from all these fags.
Exactly.
The thing is, Wilder's he's lost his power in negotiations. I mean, he can't really start dictating what goes on now against these other guys, really, until he puts the wrong right sort of thing. So he can't say, well, Wilder, I'll give you this to fight, I'll give you 60-40. He can't do all that anymore. I want to fight in the UK. He's lost that bargaining power for me. And that's the thing about boxing. One defeat, but one real bad defeat can set you back so far, man.
You know what, dude? And I'll tell you what, for all you fucking Wilder fanboys out there, you better be praying to Christ Anthony Joshua wins that fucking rematch. Otherwise, that $100 million, forget about it. Forget about it. You better be praying to Christ AJ has a comeback in that fucking rematch, dog. I don't know what you dudes are so happy for.
Well, it's just this is the whole Pacquiao Marquez syndrome, right? Where Pacquiao got knocked out, they felt like Floyd did that, and when they fought, Floyd didn't come close. I don't give a fuck what Roy Jones was smoking when he said Mayweather's going for the knockouts. But that didn't come close to happening, right? So look, it's dead now. As of right now, it's dead. I believe that his interest level, I'm talking about Wilder, is gonna, besides his fans, is gonna drop a bit now. Especially if Anthony Joshua can't redeem himself. You know what? If Anthony Joshua wants to show that this was a fluke, he does what Lennox Lewis did to Rothman. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
He just does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that boxing's a cutthroat sport. That defeat, he'll never live that down with certain people. I mean, that'll be thrown in his face to the day he dies, and it's going to be a tough one for him to swallow. That's why the zero is very important in boxing, because that's the sort of world we're in. When you take a defeat, then you see the people turn on you. It's only when you take the people that still buy you after a defeat are the ones that are the true fans. I mean, I should think a lot of people have jumped ship after that. I can assure you.
It's not only in boxing. It's a lot like that in life, bro. You fucking got when you fucking up and popping, bro. You got all these people around you, but then when you lose all your shit, you gonna see who your real friends are, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's
But it's a good thing, though.
Yeah, no,
Johnny, it's a good thing because now Joshua he's got to get rid of that entourage, all these fucking hanger-ons, and he needs to stop doing all these fucking adverts. Every time I turn the TV on, I got corny Joshua there doing some corny advert. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of the sight of the man. And I'm a Joshua fan, but he needs to get back to what's made him, and that's being a fighter. And he needs to get back to the basics.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, that's like I say. Yeah, hopefully it'll weave out some of the fucking hang-ons for him, like you say.
Yeah,
so, you know.
And I think the smaller entourage. I think him go and lock himself away. For me, I'd go and do a fucking Rocky Balboa in Rocky 4. Go to Siberia, somewhere in the mountains, and just run up a few mountains and just get yourself away from all the mess that Eddie Hearn brings with him, and concentrate on getting his career back in order. Because that's, like I said, that was a terrible defeat. That was.
He's got to do what Hagler used to say. I'm going to jail, bro. I'm going to jail.
Eric Rosas, thank you for the contribution. He says, hit the like button. Yes, listen to Eric Rosas, very smart man.
And by the way, I think this is a good time that we're talking about Joshua to bring up the fact that I think it was last year, we talked about. All right, guys, please mute your mics if you're going to be scrunching around with papers. Don't forget that we were talking about the male cheerleaders at one point a couple of episodes ago, and we were talking about how I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this male cheerleader in the NFL, and he looks exactly, well, maybe not exactly, but you tell me, guys. Doesn't that look like somebody that just fought this past Saturday? I'm talking about the guy on the left. Doesn't he just remind you of somebody that fought this past Saturday?
I can't see it. I can't see it, but I hope it isn't Andy Ruiz you're talking about.
Two dancers make history, says the article, as first male cheerleaders. Isn't that something?
I mean, shocking. It's shockingly shocking.
Your grandparents would be proud.
The thing is, the world we're living in, where they take when you watch the darts, they used to have them women at the ring entrance, sort of call it. The women used to walk in with the darts players. They took that away because all the fucking feminists were moaning about it. But it's okay for a man to put a skirt on and be a fucking cheerleader. I mean, this is the world we're living in. I mean,
clearly that writer never heard of the LDBC, man.
Yo,
that was a fucking good one.
Cheerleaders are there for, bro. The cheerleaders are there for old men watching the TV to say, "Man, I wish I had that piece of ass back when I was younger." That's the purpose. That's the purpose of having cheerleaders, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet he's not on top of the pyramids that they make. You know, when they all stand on top of each other. I bet he's not on top. That's for sure.
By the way, G Boogie in the chat. Shout out to G Boogie, just donated with the super chat, and he says, "The guy said I'm an armchair boxer. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your number up and see if I don't show up." All right, G Boogie, who are you talking about? I think he's talking about the guy that everybody's going after in the chat room. By the way, G Boogie,
G Boogie box, bro. You gotta be careful with that kid.
But that's the thing about G Boogie. Not only that, but he won 5 large this past Saturday. So you don't want to go. You don't want to go to the can straight after. I mean, what are you going to spend your money on? Canteen? Stay in the streets where you should. You're going to be fine with your 5K. Enjoy that 5K. Don't go around getting into street fights with this.
Yeah, don't G Boogie, don't get into no street fights. Man.
That's right.
Not with
Don't do it,
$5
man.
grand on you.
Not with $5 grand. You know these boys will rob you. They'll try to rob you.
Yeah.
People in the chat
Just bring
saying,
your gun.
Brandon B saying that people in the UK, you have no belts.
Okay, why is he?
Brandon,
Why is
let me
he
tell you
obsessed
something.
with?
Brandon, let me tell this kid something real quick.
Hey.
Yeah, please.
Brandon, bro, I don't give a flying fuck about Joshua or Wilder. And your fade is ugly. You should have a pretty looking bitch cut your hair like I do, homeboy.
Oh, now wait a minute. I'm not gonna let you talk
You
about.
gotta respect, guys. You have to respect our listeners.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you
guys
guys talk about our listeners like that and
Yeah,
disrespect
well,
them.
I don't have to.
I'm sorry, DVA.
What did I do? Was that me?
That was at you. Yes, it was.
You got a little out of hand. A little out of hand.
You got
a little out of hand.
You got a little out of hand, Johnny boy. You got a little out of hand.
This is a place of peace and love.
Just a little bit. Just a
I
little.
didn't insult him. I didn't insult him a little bit. No, I didn't insult nobody. Give us a drink. Give us.
All right.
No,
Listen.
no. Drinks. Johnny boy, drink is on the house.
Yeah, that's right. Listen, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I don't know what Brandon's on about. I mean, we've got no belts. I mean, fucking hell. He obviously doesn't know anything about.
They go. You know what it is, Stu? They go after you, Stu. That's what it is. They like to go. They like to go after you.
By the way, this Brandon B guy.
They love to go after.
This Brandon B guy looks a little bit like David Haney. But I don't understand though. He's telling Stu. He's telling Stu, "Oh, you guys have no belts."
I'd say more Gary Coleman.
Oh,
I'd
come
rather
on.
look like Clarissa Shields.
Okay, now you know what?
What are you doing?
Let's stop.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, rim shot.
You guys are disrespecting our listeners. That's not right. That's not right. By the way, G Boogie donated again. He says, "That's why I serve my country for people like you. I've done things, young man, that you ain't never thought of and did not have the intention or fortitude to do." Shout out to G Boogie both for the contribution to our super chat and for the. That's right, serving his country.
J Boogie's a man. Boogie's a man of honor, bro. That's a man of honor. Respect to you, G Boogie.
I was gonna say.
Boogie, he slept in a swamp for 12 hours waiting to slice a Vietnamese in there. I mean, that's
while all you millennials just go to college and fucking cry all day. Oh, the patriarchy.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean,
he killed gooks. He killed a bunch of gooks, so you could have your freedom.
Now wait a minute. I mean.
You want to work 8, 10 fucking hours, you own nothing, you got nothing? Do you want a Chivano on every corner, man, looking after you, watching everything you do?
That's what would have happened if the commies would have taken over the United States. By the way,
absolutely.
Gonzalo just donated too via the super chat. Shout out to Gonzalo. He says, "If Andy Ruiz's chin is legit, it appears to be coupled with fast hands. He will beat Joshua again because he is also a solid boxer." So that's Gonzalo's opinion. Shout out to Gonzalo for his contribution and his comment. We always appreciate it. The Punisher says,
"Hey, Bucho."
I was so happy for Gonzalo, man. He was so happy, man. Good for that. Good for you, Gonzalo. This drink's on you.
Yeah, yo, Bucho.
Yes, sir.
Can you you gonna blow that picture up for me still?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm
just mention it in the Hangouts, not on the show, because kind of slows down the show here, man.
By the way, we got Jimmy on the line. Hold on a second.
Jimmy!
What's going on, guys? What's happening?
What's happening, man?
I can't even play the fucking. Oh, there we go.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
All right, we got Jimmy on the line. Jimmy, are you there?
Jesus, that's terrible. What's happening, guys? Hey, it's Gonzalo. I just saw he's in the chat, man. Big props to him, man. He was selling that kid Ruiz. He was right to the very end.
I'm not buying that, Jimmy. I just think it's playing devil's advocate. If you keep picking the underdog, you're gonna be right once in a while, aren't you?
Jesus.
Hey, and listen, I think it's
not convinced. He's not convinced.
No, I mean, you know, if you keep picking the underdog like 20 times out of 20, I mean, one's going to come through eventually for you. I mean, devil's advocate. I think deep down he was surprised himself because Gonzalo knows his boxing. There's no doubt in that. But I think he was playing just like he did with Mikey, hoping that could.
Well, I don't think he
turn.
picked Ruiz. He didn't pick Ruiz, did he? He just was like just really saying he was better than people thought.
I thought he picked Ruiz to win.
No, I don't think he picked him to win.
He said 12 rounds. Goes 12 rounds.
Oh, I do apologize. Then I
Hey,
thought
Stuart,
he said,
I had the round right.
Ruiz.
I had the round right. I said Joshua would stop him in the 7th round, but it was just the other way around.
I had the 3rd round. At first, I was like, "Oh, looks like I might actually fucking came through." And then that little fucking pudgy bastard got up, and I was happy that he did that because fucking, you know what? They fucked around and it didn't make that big fight because no matter what, listen, and the best thing was after the fight to see all these fucking Wilder fans throwing up these laughing emojis and all this shit. I'm like, what, do you realize just what happened? He just cost Wilder. That just cost Wilder tens. I mean, possibly
Jimmy,
tens of millions.
And you can take that to the bank. Their IQ is too low to understand what just happened.
And then Sam Watson, he got up and said into Mark Kriegel, was it Mark Kriegel? He said, "Ha, we got all the belts." No, you don't, because in order for you to have all the belts, Ruiz is going to have to repeat that, but this time in London. Okay, I don't think he's going to fucking Lightning's going to happen twice. Listen, if I was Joshua, and I'd have him have a medical because I'll tell you right now, I can tell you because I was a fucking big juice head monster one time. I mean, I standing side by side next to him, he was a twice my size height wise. But we were almost the same body weight. I mean, I was just under 5'8" at 220 with a 6-pack. So I mean, but if I ran 100 yards, I would be fucking. Even if I did cardio every morning, my heart would be racing because the bigger your muscles, the more oxygen and the harder it is to pump through it. And if you're nervous, and if he was nervous at all, and his breathing was off a little. Just like he was saying, I guess after he said, "Geez, I don't know what was going on," and his camp was saying, "No, he ran well." There's other things like sometimes people don't realize you get lactic acid built up in your nerves, and if he was a little nervous and his shoulder girdle's so big and he was breathing a little off, and it was fucking basically you start, and it can affect you. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I personally think the dude needs to shed. I'd take 20 pounds off his shoulder girdle. I would have him fucking, because it's not helping him knock anybody out. He looks great on Instagram. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's got all the chicks damp, but it ain't helping his boxing. And that fucking chubby dude just showed it. His maneuvering, his conditioning. Muscles don't mention lungs. I mean, equal lungs.
The thing is with the women, mate. Women are quite cold. I mean, they might think you look good, so they'll stick by you. But if you keep getting knocked out, they don't like a man that keeps sleeping on the canvas. Let's be real. But so that aura about him he'll lose that if he keeps getting slept. He's like I said, he's got a lot on his plate, and he has to win this fight with Ruiz in style.
But and then even after that, though, the whole pay-per-view, it's taken a big hit. You know what I mean? That'll never do the numbers it would have done. 2 undefeated, that whole build up. But to then now, my only hope is I hope fucking Ortiz gets a fucking horseshoe up his ass and puts fucking Wilder out. That would be awesome.
That would be great. I mean.
That's my hope. I hope they both fucking lose. They listen. If anything, the one plus maybe fighters now might say, you know what? Let's not fuck around. Like Spence shouldn't fuck around. His biggest money fights with Crawford. If you're gonna fucking go to 154, go to 154. Announce your intentions. If not, make the fucking fight.
Yeah, because the thing is with boxing, Jimmy, you've got to take your moments because there's a period in your career where you hit your peak, and it's not a very long period either, where you hit your peak and at your best, and you have to take them opportunities, and that's when you fight the best. You can age overnight in a boxing ring, sort of thing.
5 years usually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
usually around 5 years.
You've got to. So when these fights are there for you, you've got to take them. You've got to take your opportunity because they might never turn up. You'd end up turning up on a bad night and losing to some journeyman or some guy that you shouldn't have lost to, and then it's all over for you. So you've got to take your opportunities when it comes, especially in the heavyweight division, and that's what Andy Ruiz did. That's why I like Andy Ruiz. I've got a lot of respect for Andy Ruiz, man. Took that fight, didn't come in there with a mouthing off and giving it the fucking big and like Wilder does. Was humble, so I mean, said what he had to say. Went in the ring, did the business, and did it in style. Nothing but respect for the guy.
You see what he said to his mum?
Wilder looks a clown. I mean, everyone starts to think, "Oh, Wilder's looking good now." No, he's not. Wilder looks a clown because it should have been Wilder that did that.
Yeah, really.
And then I like what he said to his mom after, Mom, we're not going to have to worry about money anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's thinking about his family. He's a good kid. I'm happy for him. I really am. I guess he just put out a video of him getting in this crazy stretch flip door limo Jimmy Campbell sent to his house. He's going to be on Jimmy Campbell tonight.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah, Jimmy. What's up, bro? But
What's going on, kid?
How can you hate on it? Sorry, Johnny. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, that's exactly how I felt, Jimmy. I'm just happy for the kid, bro. I'm happy he went up in there and just turned the whole fucking Joshua Wilder situation upside down on its head, like I say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite refreshing as well because it was getting tiring. It was draining me talking about it, and I think it's going to be quite refreshing. We can concentrate on other fighters that deserve it.
Even after the fucking fight, the way he was just jumping up and down, I'm like, wow, that fucking, for a chubby kid, that dude is athletic. The way he was just popping up, he was like a foot off the ground.
I saw him doing pad work in a warm-up session, and he looked ferocious. I thought, fucking hell, the way he was hitting them mitts, I thought, I hope Joshua don't get on the end of one of them. And unfortunately for me, he did get on the end of one of them, and that's all she wrote.
Well, Carlos said he did say that he was from a part of Tijuana. I guess it's broken into two sections, and one's like the boxing elite, and that was from where or that area he was from. That's where he did all the training. So if you were even training with those guys, you had to be you know what I mean? You had to be good. You couldn't be no joke. So that's why he said he already had that respect for him. He was basing it off that his background. So he went in and did what he had to do. Good for him.
I'm gonna have to disagree, guys. I'm gonna have to disagree. Not with what just Jimmy said, but I think the Wilder AJ fight just got bigger. Actually, if you recall how Marquez knocked out Pacquiao before the Mayweather fight, I mean, that didn't. In the end, that really didn't mean anything. The fight just got bigger. I think, obviously, AJ has to beat Ruiz in the rematch, which he will. And I mean, just look at how all the Wilder fanboys reacted to this. I mean, look at how hyped up they are. He beats Ruiz, gets those belts back. That fight it's going to be the same fucking circus, man, all over again, and bigger than ever. Watch.
That's a good point.
That's a good
Okay,
point.
but after Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, we had to wait 3 years. Do you think that we're gonna have to wait 3 years again?
Well, I mean, who knows how long we're gonna have to wait? I don't think it's gonna be 3 years because I don't think Wilder has that much time. AJ has all the time in the world, man.
Yeah, you know what?
Wilder's gonna get knocked off too, man. They're gonna run out of bums to fight.
Well, listen, fucking Wilder
it's a matter
almost
of time with him as well. It is a matter
Wilder
of time with him
almost
as well.
got
And he was with
stopped.
Joshua.
I think
Come on,
BDA is
BDA.
trying to say something.
Yeah,
sorry, I
Wilder
didn't hear
almost. Yeah, sorry, just real quick. Don't forget, Wilder almost got stopped against. Who was the guy that stunned him? Was it Duhapis or Molina? I think it was Molina, right?
Yeah, Molina.
Every fucking body, bro. Everybody.
Yeah, really.
I mean, Ortiz.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a matter of time.
Ortiz had him doing goofy leg.
Yeah, Ortiz had him on fucking jiggle legs for fucking the 7th round. That's why they give him a fucking extra minute of recovery time going into the 8th.
See, the reason I'm picking Usyk to beat Wilder is because you've got to go back and look at the Arthur Spilker fight with Wilder and how Spilker was tagging him up and using his footwork to get in and out, and Wilder looked sort of lost. It's only because Spilker walked onto a massive shot like Pacquiao did, sort of thing. But I think with Usyk, I think the same sort of game plan, same sort of style, and I think he would piece Wilder up because, like I said, Wilder telegraphs his chops, doesn't he?
I've been saying that, Stu. Stu, I've been saying that even before the Wilder Fury fight. I've been saying Usyk would give Wilder an absolute fucking boxing lesson, bro. And Usyk ain't no fucking Spilka either. He ain't no band leader.
No, he's a lot better than Spilker.
What is he, 6'3"?
He's a lot better. That's my point.
He's 6'3" too. It's not like he's a little dude.
Yeah, I keep thinking that people forget how tall he is and how big he is.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
6'3". You know what 6'3" is? That's Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Or big. I think he's bigger.
Actually, taller, a little taller. But yeah, no, that's a big dude. He's a big dude. If he just got to get acclimated to the weight. That's all. He's smart enough. I guess he's got a master's degree. I just found out recently. Fucking smart dude. So he knows what he's got to do. He's got to get acclimated to that extra heavy weight. I don't think there's anybody's going to touch him. I just can't wait for that fucking. I want to see if that African kid can catch. Because if he can catch, I think he's going to sleep all these motherfuckers.
He still needs time to grow, Jimmy. I've been watching him. And
No, he's only got 15 fights. He's 2 years away, I would say.
I see what you're
Just
seeing.
raw power.
He's got
devastating power.
Got heavy hands.
Very Daniel DeBar-like, isn't he, sort of thing at the moment?
But I think he's too young right
very
now.
Raw. He's raw.
Raw, exactly. Oh yeah, no doubt.
A little too green. He might, look, he steps in there with Wilder. There's a good chance Wilder knocks him out. I don't like Wilder, but I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna send him in there to get knocked out. I'll tell him. Like if I was in there, I think he'll get knocked out. To be honest with you, I think.
And Shields high on the kid, so I'm sure Shields isn't going to want to throw him in right away because if you know what I mean, with especially heavyweight, you guys know. I mean, obviously we just seen it. You can take whatever it is, marginal talent. I mean, you can say that for sure with Wilder's technique, but just that banging power, and you can make I mean, think about how good of a boxer you have to be at 130 pounds to make any real money. And compared to, you know what I mean, compared to the heavyweights.
I'm going to steal Precise's line. The heavyweight division, when it comes to talent, is trash. When it comes to boxing skills, these guys are trash. Most of them.
Yeah, they are.
Most of them.
Yeah. It's Fury and Usyk are the only ones that can really say they're technically sound. I just want to ask you guys a question. I just want to ask you guys on the panel a question. I mean, obviously Anthony Joshua needs to make changes for me. I'd change the trainer for a start. If you guys could have a choice to pick a trainer to train Anthony Joshua, who would you pick? Recognise, I'll go with you first.
I'm gonna take Triple G's trainer.
Yeah, that's who I picked, Jonathan Banks. That's who I picked.
Yeah, I'll take him because he comes from a school of utilizing your jab, mixing punches with your jab, man.
Yeah.
Butcho? Distance.
Butcho?
Yeah, same one. He worked with Klitschko and Emmanuel Stewart and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the style he needs to start. He needs to start using his size and his reach. He can't sit in the pocket and mid range and start trading blows with these guys with faster hands and more power, sort of thing. Johnny boy.
Oh, Virgil Hunter, of course, but no.
Are you trying to ruin his career?
Yeah. No. Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, Triple G's new trainer probably be a good one. I don't know. Not no Ted. Somebody just said Teddy Atlas. Nah.
I'll tell you what, Virgil Hunter, he'll never train Anthony Joshua because he won't want Joshua banging his daughter Keisha Coles.
If he hasn't, Stu, if he hasn't banged her already.
Yeah, he probably has. He's probably gone through the whole. He's probably gone through the whole Hunter family, mate. But Precise, who would you choose?
I'd have to think about this, but maybe I don't think Banks is a bad choice necessarily, but maybe someone like Salas, the guy that worked with David Hay for a while. He worked with Joe Joyce, someone like that maybe.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, good choice. Gonzalo.
Hello, yes. I would pick Vladimir Klitschko, the man himself. And I think he's rumored to be advising him.
Yeah, I heard that.
You're thinking of Vladimir Klitschko being the... That's a great shout, man. That's a great shout. Because Klitschko, I mean, he's going to... everything he's learned off Emmanuel Stewart, it's got to help any fighter. Do you know what I mean? The same with Jonathan Banks. He's learned everything off Emmanuel Stewart, and he's just bringing his own sort of style to it. But that's where Jonathan Banks is going with that Manny Stewart sort of style, and I think Klitschko would be the same. So I think that's a really good choice. Yeah,
hey,
Klitschko's a multi-millionaire, though. Does he need to do it? I mean.
That would be like Rocky 3, you know, like when Rocky lost to Clubber Lang and then he goes back with he starts training with Apollo, who he defeated earlier before. So it's kind of the same story, man.
Yeah. What about BDA? Is BDA around?
Yeah, I'm around. I would say, and this is two choices. One, Gonzalo had it right. I think Vladimir Klitschko could potentially turn him around. But if he can't get Vladimir in his... Because, Vladimir's got that crazy wife at home. He has to watch out she doesn't kill the baby. If he can't get Vladimir Klitschko, he should go for... what was the name of the guy who was training Cotto at one point? The Cuban guy who was also training Rigondeaux. Perez or Miguel
You talking
something.
about the cute? Yeah. He's a
That
young
guy,
no?
because he got Cotto in great shape for every fight. I think it was the best period post 2006 for Cotto. It was really Pedro Diaz. Yes, thank you, Boxing and Lomachenko too in the chat room. They said Pedro Diaz. That guy's good, man. I think he can take a good amateur style and convert it into the pros. Another guy that would be good. That's because people were saying Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas is going to scream at Joshua. Joshua's going to have a panic attack and he's going to end up pissing his pants. I think
You're a bum. You're a bum. You're fighting like a bum.
How do they call firefighters in the UK?
What they call what?
Firefighters. Firefighters.
Yeah, what do you call them?
Firemen. Yeah.
Right.
Well, isn't it in Arabic now? It's not in English now. Now you got to call them in Arabic.
Fuck off, man.
Don't get started, man.
I'm just saying. Or maybe,
I mean,
you know
let's
what?
be real. I mean, if Joshua wants to ruin his career overnight, then he should get on the phone to Joe Gallagher.
You and your fucking Joe Gallagher, man. Come on. Leave the guy alone.
One of the worst trainers in boxing. Let's be real. I mean, the Smiths are just natural. They're just Callum Smith's a natural talent. You could get a donkey to train Callum Smith and he'd win fights. So, I mean, he's half decent. He's not as bad as I make out, but he's no world beater. His tactics are terrible. Just never been impressed with his corner work or his instructions. Just don't rate the guy. He doesn't even have his own gym. He has to use Amir Khan's gym in Bolton. So no, just not a fan of the guy.
And by the way, the Quags in the chat room says, what about John Ruiz's trainer? Norman Stone. Normie.
Fight this motherfucker! Fight him! Go on, fight this fucking guy!
Stu, because he's coming off a loss, right? That's a whole different mindset. So on top of dealing with the regular training camp, there's going to be a whole different mindset. You're going to have somebody who's, doubt. You know who I kind of like? I've been reading a lot of his tweets and just watching some of his videos and looked up some of his interviews to see his philosophy. He believes in a lot of old school stuff, and I think he's done an unbelievable job with J-Rock. I would think Breadman, for just talking, I'd like to see what I think he would do a good job. Plus, he's black. You got the cultural thing. Because sometimes it's hard.
It's going to come down to Joshua, Jimmy. It's going to.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, get him somewhere away from everything.
That can help him. Yeah, somebody that can help him get his mind right.
Yeah, so I'd say fucking the 3 days before the fight, and he's doing that in-ring. Did you see that Instagram commercial he was doing? I mean, this is literally 2 hours before a fight, and he's doing Instagram commercials. A good friend would be like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
Get out, give me that phone. Throw the phone on the street.
One thing Joshua shouldn't do, and that's go to Big Bear. He will not last a day in that altitude. Just doesn't have the tank.
Can you imagine that guy doing
He'll faint.
But that's a hard question, all right?
If you think he was flagging against Ruiz in the last fight, if he went to Big Bear, you wait to see him in the rematch. I don't even think he'd make it over the ropes, to be honest with you, mate. Do you know what I mean? So,
by the way, I think it's not a knock on Joshua. I think Wilder will faint too. Wilder doesn't even jog, so forget it. Right?
Oh, come on.
There and be like,
what about Andy Ruiz?
I don't know. Andy Ruiz is a little different. I was listening to Zapata and Gonzalo talking about where he trains at. So, those guys, I think it's do they train in a desert part or something like that, where you got to be really hydrated and they're used to conditioning. So maybe Ruiz
he was in Big Bear and he dipped. He was training in Big Bear.
He bounced.
Oh,
yeah, he couldn't handle it.
Oh, we're talking about Ruiz, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tyson Fury bounced as well. Tyson Fury lasted 5 days in Big Bear.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, these are heavyweights, so maybe we need to cut them some slack, no?
Yeah, these are big boys.
Yeah, they're bums.
Condition-wise, they're poor. Condition. When you're that big, man, it's just that, that's the whole thing with a big guy, right? They say, take him into deep waters. He starts to drown because he's too heavy.
It was interesting how Ruiz mentioned that when he fought Parker, that he had to train himself. Basically, I think it was Abel Sanchez, but he didn't do anything with him.
Yeah, because we're training with Abel Sanchez is like training by yourself.
Oh, come on.
Hey, like I've said, mate, he's the most expensive man in the world to hold your mitts, and that's about it.
It's like that commercial where he's eating a steak, and you see it, and you see fucking Triple G training, right? Like that's basically what it is. It's like, yeah, you look good. Yeah,
yeah, he's not doing shit. He's like just supervising.
Yeah, Abel was.
I mean, he starts talking to you with his mouth full. Yeah, it's cool right there, yo. It's cool.
Speaking of, did you guys?
Go on.
Go ahead, no, I was just gonna say, did you guys see Triple G's new pad session with Banks? I mean, this is the second time I'm seeing them, and like the improvements are major, man. Like his fluidity, and he's just looking better. I think it's gonna take him some time to gel, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Because it's gonna, you know what it is with him? It's this. He's gonna train him because this is the Emmanuel Stewart of boxing class, which is the jab is everything. The jab, especially when you're walking somebody down.
Is somebody chewing gum up against the mic?
Yeah,
That's all
what
I
is?
can hear him
I
is
think it's
clipping.
recognized the clicking sounds back. So
This is the thing with trainers, though. Like
no, it's not gum, but it's
fighters
the
make
clicking sound.
Fighters make trainers. It's not the other way around. I mean, you've only got to look at some of the like Panama Lewis. I mean, he was a terrible trainer because he had a couple of big names. It attracted the other big names, and all of a sudden he become this big trainer that had all these world champions. But break it down, he's a terrible trainer. And I think it's the same with Abel Sanchez. I think Golovkin made him the name. He didn't make Golovkin, did he? Golovkin made him. So he got a lot of people jump on board. And I think when you look over the year he's had, when he's had to earn his money in Russia and for Gassiev, and in the UK when his boy was fighting Josh Taylor, he was nowhere to be found. Terrible advice, just a lackluster corner work in there, and he's very expensive, I hear, as well. So.
Well, now that he's not with them, I found out. Remember when about a month ago, I said how Triple G was angry up at Big Bear. Like he said, "I'm not going to train," and he like kind of went for a run, and then he said, "No, forget it," and he called the day. I found out now why that he's not with them. He was pissed because Abel invited all the media there without even telling him. So he came out to go get ready to train, and then there's like all the media, and that's the reason why he was so hostile that day. Because even the media who talked to him said he was all right one-on-one, but his whole appearance, they could tell something was off. And but that's what it was. Abel would do shit like that, and like a trainer shouldn't do shit like that. But that just plays into what you just said. It's more about him. He was making it about him.
Well,
but also it means it's like a bit like a football team. You know, when a football team's struggling, they change the manager and they get this. They start getting wins, don't they? They get a bit of confidence and they go on runs and they get wins. I think with the training, just fresh ideas. I think that boxers, they get stale with their trainers. And I think with Golovkin was the same, just got stale. And I think Jonathan Banks, and I think the new ideas, he's probably fell in love with boxing again. I think we could see the best Triple G we've seen in a while.
And you know what? Bucho called it a while ago when we were talking about Abel Sanchez and criticizing him. And Bucho said, like, every time Abel talks, he talks as if he's a star. You know, what was it, Bucho? He would say about Golovkin, like, I got the best horse.
Like, I got the best horse in the race. Like, what is that? What do you mean?
Yeah, like he's the puppet master or something. It's like, Abel,
like
you know, keep building your sheds, keep eating tacos, tuck your shirt in. Keep training some fucking guys from Russia and leave Golovkin alone.
He was planning to kill Triple G and make meat out of him.
Okay, you see what happened with Gassiev. If he's successful with Gassiev, then maybe he is a good trainer.
Hey, no,
well, he's
listen,
a good trainer, but I mean like a great trainer. You know?
Yeah, look, listen. Abel and Golovkin had a good. Abel and
hold on. Branchik's trainers. Sorry, Jimmy. Is he Branchik's trainer as well?
I don't think so.
No. Well, no, actually, no. Baranchik
was
is
in the
with
corner
Freddie
when
Roach.
Gassier took that fucking beating from Usyk.
Baranchik is with Freddie Roach.
Yeah, Freddie Roach. Yeah,
yeah,
Freddie Roach. Yeah, Freddie Roach. Yeah.
All right, but
I have to say something about Abel Sanchez. Like, you know, he trains his boxers like a platoon. And that's why a lot of them have dipped. But also, I was paying attention to one of his interviews. He doesn't like to have anybody for help, even to clean the place. He says he washes the towels. So is he that greedy where he don't want to give these guys personalized training, but at the same time, he don't want anybody to help him out?
Yes.
And he wants to eat the whole pie?
I am reality.
He washes the dishes.
Yeah, but he
and
has the
everything.
young fighters doing that, washing the towels and sweeping up and shit. That's part of the young fighters. That's what they do. Is he acting like he does that? Yeah,
No, he does that. In an interview, he said he pretty much dedicates his whole day to the boxing, and then he washes the towels and everything. Does the
Maybe that's what he's into. Maybe that's what he's into. Maybe that's
when
his
you're doing
fetish.
like military training in a place like Big Bear, I mean, you're just killing your fighters. And I got a feeling that's going to hinder him getting big names, world champions coming to him. Because when you're a multi-millionaire, you do not want to be getting up at 6 a.m, going for a run at Big Bear and getting trained to death.
You should.
You
Well,
should,
you know
but
what?
that's how fighters are not like that.
Maybe that's maybe
A lot
that's
of-
what he's
especially
maybe that's
the
what
rich
he's into,
ones.
man.
Oh, like the hungry ones are, but not the rich ones.
Maybe that's what Abel Sanchez is into. He's into being the help, like it's his fetish. You know, he likes to dress up and do that. I don't know. Listen, the point is, in all seriousness, Triple G and Abel Sanchez had a good run. I don't know what happened throughout the years that caused this rift between them. But Golovkin is in a new chapter of his life now, and we're gonna see how he looks. He still has to beat this guy, Rolls Royce or whatever the fuck his name is, because you cannot overlook a fighter, no matter how weak he might look, no matter what his record is. Golovkin, as we saw this past Saturday, you cannot overlook a guy. It's just not wise to do. All right, we gotta go.
With that being said, GGG6.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, we're gonna make official predictions, even though I think it's a no-brainer for the most part. But all right, Stu, go ahead because we gotta go. Stu, go ahead.
No, I feel Dillian White could be doing the same, overlooking his opponent as well. Don't be surprised if you see him slept on the canvas. I mean, you can't in the heavyweight division. You can't overlook anyone, like you just said, BDA. And I think I find Dillian White's doing the same at the moment.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, with Dylan White, and I wanted to ask that question about who was faster, Dylan White or Ruiz, but I guess we'll save it for the next episode. Guys, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you being here, and the second episode of the Ruiz AJ saga. Too bad the phone calls got cut off, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so I want to thank everybody that was in the hangout, everybody that came here. I'm talking about Stu, I'm talking about Recognize, Jimmy, Precise, Gonzalo, Johnny Boy, Cameron was in here as well for a little while. So thank all of you guys for joining us. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. And what was it? What was the other one, Bucho, that you said? Discord, yes. Check us out on Discord. That's where we're probably gonna be. That's what we're probably gonna be using to stream instead of Hangouts. But we still gotta work. We still have to work on that shit. What else? So yeah, so that's about it.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
That's
we'll see
right.
you next time.
Thanks for having us, bro.
Absolutely, always. And disappointed. Hold on a sec. That's not even the right. What are you laughing at here? Huh?
Yeah, I'll probably do a show tomorrow, guys. So
seriously,
stay tuned. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Everybody who joined us. Sakib, Rafik, Neto, German Persian, The Quags, Bay Area, California, Box, Lynn Roach, Bay Area, California, Triple JJ, The Punisher, The Quags, Loma King, Shepherd of the Sons, 1-2 Kid, Killer Face, who else? Box, Rod T. Davies was here as well, Black Lomachenko, Isaac Levy, G Boogie, Van Media, M Vuk, Chris Gonzalez, of course, James Doherty, JJ Salute, Virtuoso, Red Militant Media, and many more. If I miss somebody, you guys know I always appreciate your contributions and always your loyalty, of course, for listening. Now let me just real quick. I'm stalling here because I'm trying to open up the new window. I want to give a shout out to the Quacks, Eric Rosas, G Boogie, and Gonzalo, who donated via the super chat on tonight's episode. Thanks a lot, guys. You keep the gravy train rolling and you keep the phone calls going. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Take it easy.